If you see this silhouette, see this gun pointed towards you, get out of there. Just get out, because you've met the DBV-152. The assembly shop's new secret project. On February 20th, you can give the DBV a try, or face its wrath yourself. But first, hear my report to find out what you're dealing with. Command promised we'd easily break the flank. They've only got one vehicle there, they said. So we headed out fearlessly. The battle started where we weren't expecting any resistance. That's how we learned that the DBV isn't just a bush sniper. It can quickly reach unexpected positions. It can surprise you. The first thing it did was track the front vehicle. It wasn't hit by a simple slug, but a devilishly accurate 152mm AP round. A real steel sentence. The DBV's long-barreled gun forgives no mistakes, and our whole undertaking was one big mistake. While the front vehicle's crew were fixing the track, the DBV took aim at its ammo rack. That's how we lost the first tank. We didn't expect the new vehicle to have an experienced crew. It was only later that we found out these aces had served for years in an SHPTK TVP-100. We scattered and went in pursuit, hoping to overwhelm the enemy with numbers. But the DBV's crew was ready. Thanks to its fully rotating turret, the vehicle immediately started retreating in reverse. It quickly reached 52 kilometers per hour, leaving us eating dust. You expect that kind of speed from a medium tank, but not from a sniper tank destroyer. It's astonishing. And that wasn't the last surprise. The enemy withdrew through sludgy swamps where our tanks crept along like snails. No, like the Tog 2. Our opponent knew where it was going. I have no idea how the assembly shop engineers managed it, but that bird pretty much flies on soft terrain. The DBV shook off our pursuit and disappeared into the foliage. To look for it, we split up. Another mistake, since the DBV turned out to be a master of concealment. We only saw it a few seconds after it fired, and only when it fired close. When it moved away and set up a sniper position, we only heard the echoes of shots. Explosions, dull explosions in places where our platoon mates were. Regardless of the losses, we forced the enemy into a corner, pinned it to the ground. I ordered the men to load HE shells. It's a sniper TD, it should be paper thin, right? Wrong. The DBV doesn't have the thickest protection. 100 millimeters of effective armor on the hull and 150 millimeters on the turret. But that's enough to deflect HE shells. And the angles at the turret edges can sometimes cause ricochets too. Not much, but enough for us to underestimate the enemy. It would unleash accurate, powerful shots at us, then seemingly vanish into thin air, before almost immediately appearing on the other side. We didn't stand the slightest chance. Get this menacing machine in the new assembly shop. You decide which resources to spend. Credits, gold, bonds, blueprints, or free XP. And don't delay, because there are a limited number available. The quickest fingers will get the limited batch DBV 152 with a camo 3D style, and their own unique number for each vehicle, on February 20th in World of Tanks. The new Onslaught season brings the same much-loved competitive battles, with a few improvements. The 5 weekly missions no longer expire at the end of the week, but remain available until the season finishes. You can complete them later and play at your own pace, but try not to leave them all to the last minute. Instead of increased shell resistance, completing all missions will get you a token that you can exchange for any improved equipment. The team lists now have more info. You still won't be able to see unspotted enemy vehicles, but now you can see players' names, platoons, and ranks. All this info is available both during battle and before it, on the loading screen and during pre-battle prep. Redshire has been removed from the Onslaught maps. Tundra and Prokhorovka have been added. And the latter has changed notably for the mode. Countryside engagements are going to be heated. Outpost now has more cover, and some of the points of interest have moved. We've also rebalanced the role skills. You can see a full list of the changes in the article on the game portal. It's now far simpler to assemble platoons in Onslaught. Instead of rating points, the game now checks players' ranks. You can invite a player one rank higher or lower than you to join a platoon. For super platoons of 7 players, a difference of 2 ranks either way applies. Incidentally, it's now a little easier to reach the highest rank. Now, not just 10, but a whole 15% of players on the leaderboard are legends. After battles, don't forget to claim your rewards. The banner in the in-game store will remind you. It will take you directly to the Onslaught shop. Fight in this season to get closer to the annual reward, the Stinger. You can only get it in Onslaught, so make sure your Tier 10s are ready. If you don't have many, use this season's rental vehicles, the T110 E5, Centurion Action X, and Bliskavica. Happy onslaughtering.
那么我们恭喜 Heat 战队获得2023 W 赛坦克世界冠军赛国际决赛的总冠军。
So after we lost to Storm in qualification, yeah?
Struggled the day before. We nearly lost against Dopamine.
a lot of fans, especially the Polish fans.
The main reason of our downfall, let's like this, it was transfer of the mode.
We just, took the power, like we did it, so like no words. When we arrived here, everyone was like, okay, soon the games are closer and closer.
本场比赛由 Dopamine 对战 Hit and Run， 请双方做最后的赛前准备。
那么这一波开团，我感觉 Hit and Run 可能真的准备不足，主战场多人的情况下，还被对手打了一个大的战损比。
They were already warmed, so we had to. We needed time, extra time to adjust, yeah, to see how to play on stage.
恭喜到 Dopamine 0-3。
作为美服的冠军，展示出了他们的冠军实力。
So actually the player who always motivates us the most is Monster. He's always saying like the good words that we have to step up our game and just be focused, that we are better than them.
That's the right moment that we had to do the comeback.
要过来了，
但是伏羲还有握，直接被带走。
甩尾射击，一气呵成。
哇！
对方现在点位的优势巨大，
人头以及血量优势是非常大的。恭喜 Hit and Run 顶住压力
5-4拿下了第一场比赛的胜利。
我们接下来的所有比赛全部都是淘汰赛，只有一次机会。
他们的内战主要是看什么呢？就是针对与反针对，他们对彼此都非常的了解。
On the stage, we are the competitors, especially that we used to play in past together, like in the same teams.
恭喜 Storm 1-0拿下首局比赛 ，Rexer 这边没有办法了。恭喜 Storm， 再下一城4-2。
że sam ten finał to raczej był taki spacerek i nawet ciężko mi się było cieszyć po tym finale, raczej nie czułem żadnych emocji, po prostu było tak.
是一个在青壁飘头25滴血，哎呦 ，Monster 63竟然是战神一样，战神下凡，但是飘头又水炮被战客们带走，恭喜 Storm 拿下赛点。
No more time left to make it.
战术上被对手克制，不得不出战。恭喜 Hit and Run 扳回一个赛点，压迫性非常的强啊！这个同时在3线和7线同时前压，不是场防他也不放过对手。Hit and Run 顶住压力5-5。身上，哎呦 ，Jordan 又被收走了 ，Zaki。Hit and Run 连扳3个赛点进入决赛。
Ale do samego końca wierzyłem, że uda nam się pokonać Stormy, bo to było dla mnie bardzo ciężkie widzieć ich w takiej sytuacji, ale ktoś musiał ten mecz wygrać.
经过层层的角逐，最终是来自欧洲赛区的 Hit and Run 战队与来自中国赛区的万万战队披荆斩棘，最终会师总决赛。
Karma, he played really well. I think he took a lot of MVPs in this tournament. The whole team, I think, yeah, they play really well as a team, play aggressive.
让我们看一看冰川之地将有怎样精彩的战斗吧。开着自己的技能，倒也有点难了，是稳稳的陷入被动。有减伤，他有减伤。成功的收掉，7-0拿下海岸争霸。看到双方出现的血量上的差距，也要被带走了。恭喜到 Hit and Run 再次拿下1分。
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Onslaught Legends Series. And you just saw a trailer for the DBV. If memory serves correctly, I think you'll be able to pick that one up in just about 48 hours. Until then, though, some Onslaught action to go through, Ducky.
Yeah, on the DBV key, and I think I might potentially get it. But we have some Onslaught action today, and we have very important Onslaught action as well, if we think about it. We are making our run into the playoffs on Saturday and Sunday. The last 2 days will decide which teams we will get in those playoffs. We already have Cashback locked in, but they are not the kind of team that gives freebies to anybody.
No, absolutely not. Cashback so far, I mean, they've had, I think, one lost match against Hit and Run, but in Phase 1, but other than that, they have looked absolutely stellar. I mean, just, 2 days ago, they actually got their revenge against Hit and Run. It was a 4-0 there. Although, the score doesn't tell the entire story. Hit and Run was kind of close, but at the end, in each and every round, Cashback did manage to take it away. That being said, something that you can take away are the tokens. As you can see here, the earnings. Currently, we are on the 18th of February. That means today are going to be 4 or less tokens up for grabs, and it's only going to get more from there. So if you want to get your hands on any of the sweet rewards that are in the token store, then yeah, first of all, you need to claim them, and also after, you need to in-game redeem them as well, because I think only a few days after the end of the OLS season, the tokens will actually do expire. What's not going to expire, instead, what's going to rise even further is the OLS prize pool above 75,000 euros at this point in time, and that one will keep growing until the 24th of February. Obviously, thanks to you, all of you out there who keep buying the bundles. And keep in mind, you can still buy the bundles with which you can actually predict the winner only until the end of Phase 2, though, because after that, it would be too easy to do so. So if you still want to upgrade your style or get the possibility to do so, purchase them now. And the OLF, obviously, with prize pool as well, 15,000 bucks, 15,000 US dollars available for the players from across the pond. We'll see those on Saturday and Sunday.
So a lot of money on the line, Kihan, is basically what we're seeing, where either team that comes through could really be the one to take the lion's share of it. But the schedule for today, Kihand, Cashback versus Darkside, but then probably a match very interesting, actually. It is LTP taking on W. Now, if you said at the beginning of the season that this was going to be a match that is important, I would say you're crazy. But now we reach here at this part in the season, and it's actually looking like to be an important match.
Exactly. W versus LTP might be the deciding match already to, basically determine who we are going to see in the playoffs. W and LTP currently in spots 5 and 4 in the leaderboard, respectively. And that place 4 in the leaderboard is exactly the important one. And here we do actually have it. Currently, the Frenchies in place 4. And that is...
If they win it, they're locked in, right?
I mean, there is one more match, so theoretically...
If they win it without tiebreaker.
If they win it without tiebreaker, then they are through, yes. I mean, theoretically, Darkside could win, but no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, if LTP win today, they are through. So absolutely a match of the highest importance for both teams.
Very well. Before that, we're going to have Darkside versus Cashback, though. There's still 2 matches left, Key, including the one they're playing today, right? So Darkside could still make it.
Darkside could still make it, and realistically for Cashback, they are already locked in towards the playoffs. That is absolutely final and confirmed. But they still want to rack up points, because place 1 in the leaderboard is going to give you such a nice position for the playoffs elimination bracket. And for Darkside, I mean, realistically, they need to win this match clean today and hope for other teams to screw up. But against Cashback, that's a pretty tough ask.
Community prediction seems a little bit biased towards Cashback with 93%. Seems, reasonable, but Darkside is a team that can bring even the very best to their knees. They've done it before. There's no reason why they wouldn't be able to do it again.
I mean, yeah, and the thing is, Onslaught games are pretty quick, pretty fast-paced, and even if a team like Cashback, for example, catches the bad part of half an hour, then the possibility is definitely there. And Darkside, they have shown that even against teams that should be favored, I'm talking about hit and run here, they are definitely able to get convincing victories on the board. So I don't think Cashback should feel too safe yet. And especially with players like Kano that we see here on stream, 3.4k DPG, and you could have said, like, at the start of the season, the DPG gets carried by this absolute giga monster of a round that he had in the grill on Cliff, where he did like 9.5, 9.6k damage. Absolutely unheard of so far. But, you know, that's kind of leveled out. That is just one round, and he's played a lot of those at this point in time, so he's just consistently putting those numbers on the board. Now, however, we are going to get to the ins and outs of this match, and we are going to start on Ensk. Not surprising at all.
Cashback, I would have to take the statistics with it, but I'm pretty sure that at least for 3 or 4 matches, maybe more already, they have first picked Ensk, and it just really shows that they're really down to play it this season. So for Darkside, yeah, well, Darkside opting Westfield in return, and then if we do go the distance, we'll be going after Westfield, which is going to be very, very fast. We will be moving into Cliff Keyhand.
Yeah, and Cliff, once again, they're probably Darkside, that is, hoping for another banger of a round by Kano, but you obviously cannot count on, you know, the Gorilla always showing up, because the Gorilla kind of reactionary, and if we go the actual furthest distance possible, if we go to overtime, then Morabanka would be the map to decide it on. But first of all, Ensk, I mean, Cashback essentially, you know, locked in. We kind of know what we can expect for them, and I think at least here for the phase 2 of the OLS, they're not really going to switch things up too much. If anything, I think they would reserve a switch of playstyle for the playoffs to actually be able to surprise the opponents when it matters. But now we do have the predictions coming in. All of us going Cashback. It's just the question of how much. Moth probably once again huffing and puffing with that 4-0, hoping for a clean sweep. Phil and I playing it a little bit safe, I guess. Once again, no balls to go for the 4-0. Both of us saying 4-1. And you're saying that Darkside is going to pose a challenge, 4-2.
I don't know. You know, like, I'm just going down the middle. I don't expect anything. And whether I'm Moff or not, you know, Moff at this point is just gambling. It's like, please do something crazy. Give me some points, you know? I'm not that desperate, Key.
Well, let's see. Who's certainly desperate is a Darkside. At this point in time, they do need points, and they are going to try to obtain those with an E100, a Mouse, a Batcher, double Foshby, make that triple actually, and a Jagdpanzer E100. Vladislav, he's been doing well with it on Ensk in most of the rounds.
Yeah, he's been popping off in a Jagdpanzer. No Jagdpanzer for Cashback though. Double Mouse, double Bat, and triple Foshby Keyhand.
Double Batchat, indeed surprising. I mean, Batchat's not uncommon on Ensk. We've seen them played before as sort of a very mobile damage dealer tank that cannot really get caught by the more immobile tanks on the enemy team. But Double Batchat, quite the commitment. There is a singular one on the team of Darkside, and let's see how that opening goes. As I said, and Aka immediately spotted in that double Mouse. They do put one shot in towards Dries, who immediately transitions over, and he's going to find little in that Batchat, but has obviously taken a shot. So he's going to be playing from behind. That's why Trash Panda and Hellmind are booking it down in the Foshbys. When are the Batchats going to be reloaded? Not yet going to be the case, but there is Baby with yet another Batchat, and Dries is starting to eat the shots. He has Trash Panda in support though, as Dries rams into Hellmind, and in comes Cashback. They have 5 people here in the city, and they immediately find the first kill.
Yeah, those French tanks swarming in, finding everything, finding 1, finding 2, and now Trash Panda on reload still has a Force B of Twilight and Little to pick him up, and this pure aggression in the beginning from Cashback, finding so much success. I mean, realistically, I don't think Darkside was really expecting the double bat and the triple Force B there. Dries definitely wasn't, and they were sending over like anyway behind far too late.
Yeah, and you can see this avalanche of auto-loading tanks here completely picking apart the tanks of Darkside. They still have a lot of HP, but that is just because they got to the juicy, smaller HP targets first. Those squishy tanks just completely getting obliterated. And Cashback, I mean, at this point, the avalanche, it has become a tsunami of pink tanks that is just rolling up and over whatever Darkside has remaining on the map. Not a single kill yet for the team of Darkside, and to be honest, like this game here, it was just as soon as Cashback really got those first penetrations in that first engagement, it was just lost. There was no way for Darkside to come back.
No, they found Rise for very little key hunt. I mean, he took like 3-4 shots, and that was the moment they realized, we can just go in. They also had the mouses push up to spot the other angle, so I think they were pretty aware of what was in front of them. And they were like, well, hello, Darkside, we know you really need the points, but we're going to run a truck on you.
Exactly. And I really want to commend the Cashback players here, actually, just because in this initial engagement, I don't think even a single shot from those autoloaders missed. And like when you get into those engagements at the start of the battle, just, you know, converting all of your shots in those autoloaders is just so important. Because what basically starts happening there is if you convert all the shots, then, you know, you remove those enemy tanks from the game. The Foch Bees do not stay alive on a single shot, and all of a sudden they heal back up to like, you know, 1,500 HP. And that just tends to snowball so quickly, and that is just what we saw here. I mean, no real outstanding damage on the team of Cashback, but, you know, even the double mouse getting above 3k each, that means everyone was just continuously in the fight. And for Darkside, just absolutely not the case.
There was also just no opportunity there for Vladislav, who we mentioned in the beginning in that Jagdpanzer, to do too much either, simply because, well, the game was kind of over before that already. But for Cashback, you know, quick and simple, effective. And we saw this already. I think it was W who had a similar approach, if you remember. They were using 5 Foch Bs, if I wasn't mistaken. So this is kind of the same, but like a different at the same time. And it's an interesting meta.
I think it is also in a meta in which, if you're like a team, even if you're sending 3 tanks to one side, you just need to be so careful with how you do that. Because, well, if someone else is sending 5 or 6 autoloaders your way, then you just die, and after that, the battle is over. So either you need to make sure you get some of that crucial information, or you, well, you choose a different playstyle. Because we could clearly see one team getting the jump on the other and running away with it.
That is very true, Key, and that this is the added benefit of those tanks, right? You have those Foch Bs, which are plenty present in this battle yet again. 3 for Cashback, a bat, a T57 ×2, and a mouse. But you have those 5 very quick tanks. So when you have like this lineup from Darkside that they had, with like these 3 immobile tanks, then it's great because you're always going to have the extra tank.
Indeed. I mean, Darkside, they somehow need to find a way to force Cashback to engage on towards the mouse, and then, you know, the double Foch B, Batchat, double T57 come into the game. But realistically, the only thing that's being switched here is a Foch B for the Jagdpanzer, and I don't know if Vladislav is playing that one for player preference, or if it's actually supposed to, you know, take an important position in the tactic. But Cashback right now, they do have more mobility, and arguably in a shootout at the start of it, also more firepower with that additional Foch B.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's interesting that both teams opted for these T57s, right? I find that most curious. Like, maybe they train against each other, maybe not. But these 57s are very interesting. The Bat will immediately take the info, though, of Dries, but Liberty pushing down, realizes Hellmine and Trash Panda are in front of him, and is not going to be able to do too much against that whatsoever. Liberty pops the ability, he's going to tank it as well as Little peeking out, but that's double T57 waiting for them yet again. And this time around, the aggression from Cashback is met by fierce resistance from Darkside, who are covering their angles. I mean, Barbarian's taking a strike on the field, but the success in the city, Kihan, it was not there.
No, the success this time around not to be found, as Shockerix is driving over the yard with that mouse is at least going to take one more by Iset, who seems to have lost the trades in the mouse a little bit. But we do see Sideways Mouse obviously doesn't need a lot of aiming to go through it, as Barbarian all of a sudden popping up with that Fosh B, but doesn't really connect a lot of shots because those T-57s once again do have the angles to cover him. And now Darkside trying to aggress in the city, but Trash Panda paying for this one with his life, as now Depressed trying to clip out with that T-57 is only going to use half of his clip. A strike going down as well. It's going to hit the double T-57. Those are good and valuable targets to hit, but as of right now, the HP kind of equal.
Cashback is starting to edge themselves ahead of this push from Darkside. I mean, they were holding the angles at first, now they're pushing into the angles. That's a whole lot different. Valislav in his mouse also trying, Barbarian running away, getting clipped out by the T-57 of Kano, and it's still wide even between these two. But when you look at the overall situation, Aka finding a kill, Baby finding a kill, they get retaliated upon, but there's just more tanks here to pick off for the side of Cashback, and it doesn't help Gihan when, you know, Vladislav, he's been doing miracles on the Yak Panzer, but 3k HP is a lot to have on just one tank. And as it stands, Cashback comes out ahead once more. I mean, the initial engagement definitely in the favor of Darkside, but then when you have to push in or push into a setup team, you get the same treatment right back.
Yeah, and once again, the issue that we talked about before the round even started is this Jagdpanzer here. I mean, it's a great tank, don't get me wrong, but the problem is it is 3000 HP that are out of the fight, that are realistically not able to rotate to contribute. And while the HP over both teams were kind of even, the fact that 3000 HP and a gun for Darkside were out of the game meant that in the end, Cashback were able to overpower Darkside in the city. And yeah, at the end, you're left with that single Jagdpanzer that, you know, in theory can do a lot of damage, but in reality probably ended up maybe doing damage, but not the important one at the start when it actually did matter.
Well, it will always remain key that the Jagdpanzer in this doesn't have too much effective DPM, right? You got to remember Fosh Bs, they heal back, other things they have damage reduction. He does do 5k though. Nonetheless, 5.3 even, so he was popping off again in the Jagdpanzer, but there's some issues there, you know, like the Fosh B only getting 4 shots, the 57 getting 1 clip and then 1 extra shot. It's not enough if we compare it to the enemy team. The lowest there, Twilight, already is 6 shots, and Barbarian also gets the strike damage. You know, they're just doing better on their tanks overall.
Exactly. Yeah, I think always Ensk was going to be a pretty problematic map for Darkside to play, just because Cashback seem so comfortable on it. And to be honest, like this double batchet tactic that we saw here was kind of a possibly even a one-off where they weren't sure how well it was going to work. Obviously, it worked out beautifully, but maybe against other teams, they weren't confident with playing it or something. So right now, we might even see some funky strats coming out for Cashback that they probably don't want to use in playoffs because they're like kind of, well, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But, you know, here right now, it would be nice to win the match, but it's not imperative to do so. So let's just try to have some fun. Let's just try to do something that really does look cool. And, I mean, all the better for them. Both of the strats now worked out. It's 2-0. We're gonna go to Westfield though, and this map has been picked by Darkside, so for their sake, let's hope that they have a plan and that it works out well.
I mean, you would imagine them having a plan, but if the plan is gonna work, Gihan, that's a different story altogether. It's a lot harder for them to play in this scenarios. If they were to take points here, it'd be amazing, because they're playing with a lot of stress, a lot of pressure on their shoulders, and they're going to try and relieve some of that by winning this round with double Fosh B and AX, double Mivi, and double BZ75.
And for Cashback, instead, it's a little bit more straightforward. It is a triple Yo tank together with a Centurion and triple Fosh B. So both teams bringing out an Inspire medium. Basically the difference is Darkside's a little heavier, but a little less explosive in the shootout. Although I would say arguably like the sustain is kind of equal in the shootout for both teams, just because the BZ75, yes, it gets into position fast, and we can see here that the BZs are being used to boost the MBYs, but you do have those big cupolas that, especially against a tank like the MVY, can really make your life, or can really make you have a bad day, because that one's always going to be visible before, you know, you can actually shoot, as Depressed does take 2 shots immediately by this hit squad of MVYs from Cashback, and now the BZ starting to flank around.
Barbarian still behind them though in that Forge B. He's getting immediately pushed on by Hellmine, by Vladislav as well. He's probably down and out in this, but now Cashback needs to react. They know that Barbarian's gonna fall. The strike coming in already. Barbarian deleted by Vladislav, and the rest of the Darkside team not seeming to stop just yet. Maybe they went a little bit too far too soon. Aka down towards low HP as well. It's Shockerix to pick him up, and 2 kills on the board for Darkside. They're in a prime position to potentially win this round. Rise and Depressed are one shot though. It's not clear as day yet if they're going to be able to take this away. Eyesight trying to pick up more and more kills. Can they do it? They're capping in the meantime as well, Kihan. So multiple pressure points here on the map currently for Cashback, who are in trouble with Little, but Liberty coming in to try and save him. Pop the ability, goes over. Little even taking a non-connection from the BZ. That Mivi hull, bit annoying to shoot from time to time. Baby and Liberty chasing down Kano, so that's the Inspire gone as well. And it's not looking absolutely terrible for Cashback, but currently Darkside has that 1 tank extra advantage, but Twilight's gonna make that one disappear as he picks up Vladislav, but he's gonna be fallen for this one.
Exactly, Twilight is going to get picked up now, and it is a 3 versus 2. However, Baby does find Trash Panda, so we're going to be found somehow in a 2 versus 2 situation. Now we have to take a look at the Forge B reloads. Liberty is almost reloaded, and this means that for now Cashback do have the advantage, but they're not going to press it. Instead, Liberty is going to opt for the strike, while the tanks of Darkside are going to go for the double cap. That obviously does mean that Cashback have the information available as to where those tanks by Darkside actually are. Now both of them leaving the cap. That should tell Liberty all that he needs to know, as Hellmite starts to come in with a vengeance, takes a first shot, but Liberty already reloaded, and both of the Fosh Bs unloading up on towards each other. Hellmite already in the reload and recharge ability for his HP. Both of them doing that now, so a little bit of an awkward interaction, but Liberty still with 1 shot remaining might be able to take out Shockerix even. They did count to 6 here. They know he still has 1, and Shockerix, he doesn't want to go forward here.
Does it matter if he doesn't want to go forward though, because he's about to die to the airstrike. Liberty and Shockerix, they see each other, they proxy spot each other, the strikes come in. There's the big circle, X marks the spot. Liberty picks up Shockerix, he has 1 more shot available, pops the ability. Looking for Hellmine, and Cashback will still, even with that first kill that Darkside managed to find a Barbarian, win the round, Kihan.
Yeah, indeed. Cashback making it happen here in the 3rd round on Westfield, and honestly, like for the longest part of the shootout, it actually looked to me like really Darkside were ahead. They had same amount of HP, but you know, just 2 guns more, and normally you should win those scenarios, but Cashback really with extremely good focus fire, able to make it happen once again. And to be honest, like if it was 2 times the same team with the same skill fighting against each other, then I think that, you know, Darkside takes this one. But here, the individual player skill and possibly also the low DPM on those BZ75s hurting Darkside a little bit. Because yes, you can see Dries and Depressed, both of them being taken out. Like those were the tanks actually getting focused by the team of Cashback. That means they were eliminating the DPM from the fight. And for Cashback, I mean, Forge B is staying alive, the Centurion staying alive. All of that just means that, you know, the target prioritization that Cashback was doing was superior.
I am inclined to agree with you, because the Mivis are the ones that you don't want to have dying that early, right? They're supposed to deal damage, so the BZs should have tried to take more damage, Keyhand. It didn't end up happening. So, yeah, I'm willing to agree on that. But there's one person that's probably extremely happy right now, Keyhand. His name is Moff.
Indeed, Moffington, the one and only, currently in prime position to take 2 points for this prediction game, but we are not there yet. There is still the possibility for either of our predictions, honestly, to come true. Although yours is looking kind of unlikely at this point, at least the way that Cashback have presented themselves, it doesn't look to me like they're in the mood to lose a lot of rounds against Darkside today.
I don't need them to lose a lot of rounds, Kian. I only need them to lose 2 rounds.
You know, let's see. I only need them to lose 1. And if anything, then the time for that is absolutely now, because if Darkside lose this one, then they are kind of in the dirt when it comes to the points, and they are definitely out of the match. They are not really going to switch it up. I think that is the same lineup, so hopefully they saw what went wrong, and they will try to fix it. Double BZ75, double MBY, double Fosh B, and the Centurion for Darkside.
Cashback in return, triple BZ actually, double maybe an AX and a Fosh B. So they have the triple BZ now, Kian. You complained about them last round. The Cashback has 3 of them, so they need to utilize that for what they are meant. Speed and a battering ram.
Violence, speed, and momentum. Maybe the back-to-back rams coming out as we do see the openings. And for Darkside, it's not really going to be a lot of, you know, fidgeting around. Basically everyone driving towards the northwest of the map. And for Cashback, they do once again split off Barbarian in the Fosh B. And the Triple BZ immediately going to make their way to the cap. But they're going to hold. And they're going to find Kano 2 shots immediately in towards that Centurion. And Twilight probably wishes he was somewhere else.
Yeah, Twilight hesitating there for a second whether he wants to go forward, so not opening himself up to a lot of damage from the side of Darkside. Now, Baby in a prime position though, in that EX, starting to pop off a little bit, but Twilight down low already. Darkside needs to go as a Tide, sweeping across, but a Hellmine down towards the one-shot. He may even fall to Baby. He does the ability, it was active, but it didn't pop in time to survive that EX. And now Vladislav is going to have a similar story. Little just ramming himself in as Barbarian's clipping out, and now Baby getting pushed on by the Fosh B, but he's out of reload. He's all the way going to be reloading for that long time, as Darkside did not find the opening yet again. And their dreams, Kihan, of making it to those playoffs are literally disappearing right in front of them, as they have 3 tanks left standing, and it wasn't in Season 1, and it's probably not going to be in Season 2 either.
No, absolutely not. The dreams of Darkside to reach the playoffs vanishing just like their tanks in this round. And the ones before Cashback are going to hold on against this aggression that came out from Darkside. And yes, you could see there were a few seconds of indecisiveness on the Cashback team, but that was literally the only opening. They were giving some clutch shots as well in towards the Fosh Bs that were trying to push over in towards the A2 and A3 ditch. And I think it was supremely important that Baby actually was able to pick up that singular Fosh B before he could get clipped. So some good individual plays coming out as well from Cashback. But as it stands, it's going to be a clean sweep. And I mean, a Darkside, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe there are some miracle ways through which they could still mathematically make it into playoffs, but I already see Phil here in the studio shaking his head, so that's probably not going to happen. So Cashback is going to be the first team of the Phase 2 that is going to be confirmed to be out.
Cashback is out. Interesting. I think you mean Darktide is out, Kihan.
Right? Darkside. Why do I keep messing it up, man? Not the first time, but probably the last, because, well, Darkside is out. And yeah, Hellmine, 2 shots of damage, not enough.
I don't know if it would change the game, but he needed, like, I think 1 more second for the ability tick to come in, and 1 tick would have been enough for him to go over the 360 range, right? Which means that he can face the AX, and he would heal enough then to survive his second shot as well. So they would kill the X, but still, I don't know if it would have been enough. Maybe. It's hard to say.
Possibly. But there is a slim chance, but yeah. I mean, Cashback not playing perfectly here in this round. You can see Twilight without damage. That is not supposed to happen, but it doesn't end up mattering here, as Well, Cashback now on a pretty convincing scoreline. I mean, 10 wins, 1 loss. That speaks kind of a clear language. 33 points in total. And for Darkside, I mean, they could still reach, in theory, the points that W have. But, well, the round difference does very much speak against them now. And, well, W is going to be playing in match number 2, so if everything goes right for them, and Birthday Boy Frugo, by the way, then Darkside is not even going to be able to equalize the points.
Well, that's going to be the second match of the day. The first one was important. The second one is even more important because if W loses this, we are locking in our top 4, Kian. And if they lose this without tiebreaker.
Yes. If LTP wins this one clean, and by clean we mean 4-2 or better, then W for the second season in a row, together with Darkside actually, would not be making it through, which would be kind of a heartbreak for W, once again, considering like how the season's been going. And this is all because, well, LTP has been making such a strong showing in the Phase 2 of All Less. But first of all, let's go in towards some replays, and after that, we'll go into what's probably going to be the most important match for W and LTP both this season. Stay tuned.
winners, your Onslaught Legends Series champions will be Cashback.
Mafia are your Fragstore Winter Invitational champions. They take it
24 and the old champion, it is the new champion. Hit and run, the trophy goes. They've done it. Are you united in
Hello there, and a welcome back to the second match of today. And we already talked about it. This just might be the most important match of Phase 2, actually. Because both of those teams here are very close in the standings, and both of them would like to make it into the final stage. It is going to be W versus LTP, and really, I think the importance of what we're about to see for both of those teams cannot be understated.
No, we already mentioned it. If LTP wins this without a tiebreaker, they lock themselves into the top 4. If LTP wins this with tiebreaker, I think they can still be caught, but it becomes a lot harder for W still. And if W wins this, then, well, you know, they hop over LTP, and then the last play day will decide.
Yeah, indeed.
The round difference between them is so close, you know, like it's a 1 round difference, literally. So,
well, first of all, congratulations and happy birthday to the man himself, Frugo. He'll be able to make himself a nice present today, and that would be obviously winning and taking home those points against LTP. But, you know, realistically, he'll have to do that himself.
Yeah, nobody's going to give the points to him. So he has to make the performance happen with him and his team. And LTP, unbelievably enough, are in contention for a possible top 4 finish.
Yeah.
Now, that's something nobody expected at the beginning of the season.
Absolutely not, and it looks to me like Joy is certainly in the mood for stealing the icing from the birthday cake here. So let's see if LTP will indeed be able to spoil the day, or if W, that so far have actually played against the nominally stronger opponents in this Phase 2 here, if they'll be able to retain and retake control of their own fate. Community predictions are favoring W, even though W is further down in the leaderboard. As I said, that might be down to W realistically having, I think, played place 1, 2, and 3, and LTP having played against Darkside already. So, yeah, that might be coming in here, together with the fact that W obviously is still the bigger team name. But yeah, at the end of the day, those stats, they are quite impressive by Brainbreaker, but they don't really matter. What matter are the points that the teams are playing for today.
Now, the question is, Kian, where did you put your money? Because we're looking at the maps here, and we're going to start it off after Suzuki and Ensbans with Westfield.
Exactly. Westfield gonna be our first map. We just saw it played in between Cashback and Darkside. And, well, I think that map might be favoring W, because they're a very, very aggressive team. LTP so far trying to play a little bit of control more, and I think Westfield is one of those maps where you need to react super quickly, so LTP really need to have those reactions down today. And this also reflects then in LTP's pick of Ghost Town, which most of the time is a slower map, more technical, more controlled. You have more time for the reactions that you do if the opponent doesn't opt for a quick cap play, of course. So let's see. Then we might go to Pilsen, and I think we probably will. I don't think either team will take this one cleanly. At least they shouldn't, according to the previous results. And if we are going to go to Tiebreaker, then that will once again be on a slower map, if not the slowest in the pool. It's going to be on Airfield, once again, very tactical. So let's see what the teams have cooked up today.
Westfield battle number 1, when we look at the caster predictions. Wow. Wow. Okay, so across the board, 3 out of the 4 going with 4-2 for W, and then 1 German saying 4-2 for LTP. Okay.
Yeah, indeed. Phil, the odd one out. Maybe he knows more than we do. I mean, if he gets this one correctly, then that would be a huge step towards, winning the entire prediction game. So let's hope all of us go home with some points. And, well, Phil predicted wrong. I don't know.
I mean, we can only hope, Giant. I don't like you being right, but I also don't like Phil being right. So it's like, I don't know.
So you rather take yourself being right as well, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like the lesser of two evils.
All right. Indeed, Westfield gonna be our map number 1, and we do see LTP starting off with a triple BZ, a CS, an STB1, pretty rare sight nowadays, and double Foshby.
This looks a lot like we saw before from Cashback, actually. W in return, BZ E100, double Mivi and Udes, a Foshby, and they're still opting for the RHM. Like, if you look at the LTP lineup, I think the biggest difference there is that I think Cashback had like a Mivi. The CS can be good, but I feel like it struggles on Westfield against the tanks that it has to engage.
Yes, also let's hope for Jackafar's sake that today he actually has cruise skills picked and modules mounted on that Udes. That has been a skill issue before, but I think he probably fixed that one, as we're going to start into the most important match of the entire season for both LTP and W. And we see W opening with 5 tanks towards the north and west, and we see a Foshby RHM combination splitting off. LTP instead are going to boost double BZ on the cap. Aking trying to get some information. Tarksay pretty late with that E100, and Brainbreaker is going to make it to the B1 corner as LTP are trying to engage on towards the heavy tanks that W have posted here.
So it'll be hard for them. Signups is now starting to aggress. Sitten is already out of ability, trying to shoot hold down Mivi's. LTP forced to push. Here comes the swarm of French tanks. Eos readjusting already, running away. Aking blowing up to Splotty, and this initial push here for LTP. Another strike coming in as well. It hurts, and all the angles, all the white tanks are shooting them from multiple angles. This is looking like a slaughter, reminiscent of Bing with their 430Us. This time it's BZs and Foshbs driving in and dying for this. And even if they manage to get the double Mivi at this point, I feel like the damage has been done.
Indeed, the damage has been done. LTP relegated down to a mere 3 tanks. Yes, they still have the Inspire Medium, but they also have the CS tank that realistically doesn't really contribute a lot, especially if it doesn't penetrate its targets. And Noxious gets found here together with Nepal as well. And Brainbreaker boosting in towards the CS is going to put him down towards one shot. So W, they stand the test of the first round against LTP. They are going to get the first point off the board, but it is still a way to go.
No, but it's a good start. I mean, for W, it was a pretty clean round, Keyhand, if you think about it, because like they come in, they set up some crossfire, and LTP literally drives into it. So if you're W there, you're like, okay, that's a good start. Why not? Yeah, for LTP, this was a really hard engagement. They almost have to YOLO straight to make it work, like over the top from the beginning. It's just really, really hard to ever achieve something there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think LTP kind of knew what's up as soon as the info tower and the artillery strike got taken at the same time on the outside. They were like, well, all right, they have 2 tanks out of the fight and we are here with 7. We kind of need to do something, otherwise we lose over time. And, well, the crossfire that W had set up, especially also with the tanks that LTP had to engage upon, double Huldan, MBY plus the E100, this one just went perfectly for W, and Clerf there, I think he got 1200 or no 800 with the strike as well. So for them, just everything falling into place. I mean, the Udes, it sometimes gets overlooked. Like obviously the siege mode
all did a lot of damage.
Yeah, it kind of is annoying to use in the siege mode, but I think a lot of people don't realize that the Udes actually does bring some considerable DPM.
The Udes is easily the best Huldan medium. Between that and the STB, I'd always pick the Udes. But the Udes is
10 out of 10.
a lot harder to play, though, because of the siege mode. is the biggest annoyance of it. Like you have to. I mean, the STB also has the siege mode though.
Yeah, but I feel like the turret in the front makes it somewhat easier to use.
Yeah, it's more comfy. That's true. The back turret means you have to like learn how to play with it. That's true, Kihan.
But yeah, this was round number 1 on Westfield. We will see a second round, obviously, and I think LTP, they kind of saw here that this straightforward approach that they chose for round number 1 doesn't really work that well against W. Because W, I think, most importantly also just demonstrated that, well, they can play very aggressive push tactics, but they're also very good at receiving. And, I mean, the way that they just set up, also with iOS crossing over at exactly the right point in time, that just was beautiful to see for W. So let's see if LTP are able to do better as they need to do. Triple BZ, 1 MVY, double Fosh B, and this time an RHM coming out from LTP as well.
W, triple Mivi, Udes, double Fosh B, and an RHM as well. So neither of these two teams can seem to be 100% convinced into the fight. So they're still bringing the RHM. But now we get to see the real trade-off, right? BZs versus Mivis. Who gets the better engagement?
Yeah, and once again, I'm not too convinced about those BZs. Yes, they bring a lot of HP and mobility, but what they don't have is DPM. And against the MVY, arguably, the ramming that you can do is not that great, even into the side, because, well, the tracks were kind of a space armor. The front has some armor, so it mitigates the incoming damage. So both of those RHMs getting some information. However, Nepal opting to drive away. He's not going to go for any of those neutral objectives. He'll try to support his team from the back lines as immediately double strike gets taken. So those neutral objectives are really going W's way at this point.
EOS and Klurf will be taking those. They will be able to get resets. LTP is just trying to play the, well, we'll boost the camp, force you to use the strikes, and then after that, we force you to push back in. There's a Mivi from their side, Conquistador, taken all the way into A3. A good shot there from Joy on towards Darks, and LTP will try to play it out from here, but no, they actually not. They're already pushing close. They spot out the Fosh Bees immediately. Aking just YOLOing in, but it's BZ75. Round 2, they do find Brainbreaker a little bit this time around. The Fosh Bees of LTP now arriving as well, picking their opportunities when they can. The perfect timing for them. Tarks was just pushing. Tarks is pushing into the grave as they do find Aking in the BZ, but the BZ is the tank that you want to have dying in this scenario. And now LTP smells blood in the water, pushing back in. Signup still has 3 shots available. Brainbreaker or Splatty is a good opportunity here if they cannot find anything else. They gotta cleanly pick it up though. While Conquistador is facing off against the Udes Kihan, and I don't think that's gonna be going his way entirely.
Well, the Udes does fare very well, actually, in those face-on-face scenarios. But now Noxious needs to be careful as Itox is about to come off reload with that Fosh B, and that will remove another angle. Noxious also Amarak for a long time here, and now Ios is gonna come with that fully loaded French auto-loader. Zeton trying to do what he can from the hilltop, but Joy goes down towards one shot as Synop suddenly finds himself between a lot of tanks. Splatty blowing up as well, and LTP somehow still staying in this one. A strike though coming down, it's going to stun. There are medkits available. This is all over the place. Itox out of shells at this point too, as Ios is reloading, and Jakafan now from the hilltop with that Fosh B will try to provide DPM.
There was actually a almost crucial miss there from Jakefa with the Udes. Surprisingly against that Fosh B, it's still playable though. Steinops has one more shot. He just let that one go. Ios not connecting on the first, but Jakefa looking for Zitten. Doesn't connect though. Could have been crucial again. Now Steinops will fall against Ios. He's in the healing. Ios picks it up. Zitten still close with 5 shots. Nepal trying to cover. Another miss there from the Udes. Nepal on the move, not missing. And Zitten pops his ability. Ios will start to shoot, but that will be healed back, most of it from Zitten, if he can stay alive for long enough. And immediately, there comes Nepal as well. Ios will not find it. The heal's kicking in. Is it enough to keep him alive for long enough? Ios will find it, but Nepal has this game. He has the possibility. He needs to pick up the Udes. He does as well, and he knows Ios is on reload. So this is going to be a game of chicken almost, because the both of these could disengage from each other and then play the long game. But Nepal realizes that this Fosh B is on reload. Beautiful HE shell there against EOS. And now Still gonna try and get on his flank again. Still has HE, as you can see. Otherwise, he would have used it. And now Ios left on the strike key. But ooh,
Oh no, he drives into
there's
the
a
house.
push away. There's a push away.
Oh my god, and the miss coming out from Ios, 5 shells remaining. He needs 3 against this RHM, and now he's going to be looking that RHM's way. There is another bush here, but it is not enough. Both of them trading a shot. This means Ios the 3-shot, Nepal a 2-shot, but obviously Nepal, he needs to reset this strike at some point in time, as we do see the RHM coming in here. He's going to penetrate that heat shell, putting Ios down towards a 2-shot, and now obviously you can see the plane. It is just going to help this RHM. Another shell, another miss from Ios. The RHM, it only needs 1 more shell in towards this Foch B. Is he going to go for the peak as the heal does come in for the Foch B? Is it going to be enough? Probably not.
314, 332. He's no longer a one-shot Kihan, normally, unless there's a slight roll difference here, but this is almost impossible to play for Ios. He pulls around the corner, Nepal realizes it, puts the plane as well, keeps the speed up, drives around, will find the kill. Nepal puts them down. LTP back on track.
LTP back on track, and you've got to wonder about those missed shots in the UDES before. Were they the difference maker? But certainly a close fought round in between both of those, with the 1-on-1 going LTP's way. So after Westfield, we find ourselves at a 1-all equal score. I mean, whoever's the script writer today so far for this match, good job.
Nepal played a very good game of World of Tanks in the end, but not to like be too mean to EOS, like it is really, really hard if you're EOS in that situation to do too much, because you got to remember he's playing the Foch B. He does 6.5k damage already, and you know, against planes it's pretty hard to do. But yeah, the big difference there for the side of LTP, I mean, look at it. Nepal, man, 7k damage in that RHM, sitting 5.4 as well. Signups 4k, not too bad, minus the part where he blocked one of his teammates in the BZ from shooting. But, you know, across the board from LTP's side, you know, those tanks that you want to carry did carry.
Absolutely. I mean, the BZs went in, they took the damage exactly what they're supposed to do, and after that they just put their allies into the position to, well, carry it from there, and Nepal indeed do exactly that. Goodness, English today. But yeah, 7,000 damage. I think that might just be the highest we've seen from a light tank so far.
Well, is it? Yeah, it's struggling today.
For some reason. Anyway, phase 1 scores 3-1 for W. So W have done it once before, but they need to again.
Yeah. But that was also, I don't know, like that game of LTP, I remember it well. They didn't really play as best as they could. They seem a bit like Darkside, but on the better end, where you cannot always predict just how well they're going to play. Today, they're coming in with the approach of, we're here to fire, we're here to rumble W, and it may work, it may not work, but at least they're trying. I have like a flashback to like a hit and run game where they're trying to play defensive. I don't think it works for them too much, so I'd like to see them keep up the aggression. They're gonna try though. Double RHM, BAT, T57, triple E100 for LTP.
And for W, we have double BZ, a T57, a 430, a Foch B, an EBR, and an RHM. So once again, double RHM versus EBR RHM combo. Which one do you favor?
The EBR is a very, very potent early game. It's hard to say, Kihand. I'm not entirely sure. I like both of them. If the planes work out for LTP, the double plane though. They're going to be using planes left and right, but they miss
a lot. So they do get the information on the double BZ and the 430U, but they're crucially missing double LT Foch B T57. That is basically the playmaker tanks from W that have not been spotted, as we now see Nepal on the strike already with that RHM. Does Clerf want to go for a reset here? He does. Good HE in towards Nepal. That does go unspotted, but I think Clerf did get spotted here.
That's a play for Nepal.
that is plain. That is also a T-57 shooting at him, and you can see Clerv's HP are just evaporating. A blind shot towards EOS does miss. Let's keep a look at Clerv's HP as he's down to a 357, still out in the open. Tankistador reloading at this point in time, but is it going to save Clerv? Probably not. The strike, the baby strike, or actually the big one does go down, and immediately W are gonna start with a man down.
Mistake there from Clerv. Didn't expect this zero-line play whatsoever. He got spotted out in the open by a regular tank, which is a disaster if you're in the light, right? And because of him getting spotted, Nepal gets a shot. Neither of the two lights from LTP had a plane. So there's the spot. He gets the shot. He gets another plane, and he stays pretty much spotted and never gets out of there. So for the side of LTP, that was amazing. For W, it couldn't be worse. And now they're trying to do something, trying to aggress, but EOS against the Sitten. Let me tell you, the RHM has really no issues dealing with an EBR in a 1-on-1 if it's just a pure fight. So that's not going to go the way of W. EOS is running away, taking damage. It's currently looking like LTP on the first round of Gosan are in a very, very good position.
Indeed, as IOS there, good shots coming out from Aking and Synops is just going to get removed. So all of a sudden, 3 tanks missing from the W lineup. They've just disappeared. And now LTP with that triple E100, that is obviously a tremendous amount of firepower. Jakufa gonna cross over first. He's gonna take 2, make that 3 from those E100s. Minus 1600 to the face, or rather the back of his tanks. Bloody trying to make up for it, but in comes Tankistador. Not with a steel chair, but with a fully loaded Batchat. That should be more than enough for the T-57.
Yeah, this LTP is just cleaning up all off of the back of that opening kill on the RHM. It was a very good one. And you know, it's hard to usually put the loss on one person because you don't really want to do it, but losing in the light there forced W's hand into this play.
Yep. And I think we have seen games before, actually, where, you know, one light tank loss on the 890 line immediately translated into game spiraling out of control in seconds. And this is exactly what we saw here. W, after losing that RHM, immediately had to go uber ultra aggressive everywhere, and LTP obviously knew this, received it well. Nepal trying to go for the jump kill. It's not going to happen, but well, it's gonna be Tankistador instead with the style points, as it does finish up an LTP come back from a 0-1 deficit. They're going to make it 2-1. And for W, you cannot be happy with this one. Absolutely not.
No, but like, you know, like this funny moves at the end of the game, it shows that LTP is in good spirit. And against W, I think that's exactly what you need to be doing. You know, just try to tilt them a little bit more, get in their head. Because this match, we talked about, is so important. So this little stuff, it can all add up, you know, because nobody likes to get jumped on by a bad shot. And now, I mean, LTP 2-1. Did they really do anything remarkable? No, but they did find the kill RHM, and you know, Nepal hit the shot, and then he hits the plane. That's all he needs to do.
Exactly. And talking about tilting and like mental stuff a little bit here. I mean, the mental state that W is in here probably isn't great, because realistically, you lose 1 round of Westfield that was definitely winnable. And it was close, so that's always going to be annoying. And now you lose this round for 6 out of 7 players, probably through no fault of their own. And that's got to feel even worse. And for LTP on the other side, I mean, they're on top of the world. They won a Westfield clutch where their light tank player really you know, whipped out the wheelbarrow and carried everyone. And after that, now they get this quick and easy pickup. They have an easy round as well. So they do see that it is more than possible at this point. Even it looks likely for them to take the victory.
I mean, likely. It's a bit of a stretch, Noki. It's only 2-1.
Yeah. If it keeps going like this, it'll be 4-2 and Phil wins his prediction. Oh, crap, man.
It's a long road. I don't see it go that easy for LTP, to be honest. I really don't. Just as easily W could win the next 3 rounds in a row. I think between 2 teams that are like roughly even, which is funny because when on earth would you say that LTP is even to W? I don't know. Could be the case. Now, the good thing here is that I do believe that LTP deserves to stay for next season. So even if they would drop out of the playoffs, I really do hope they win their relegations. The season they have shown.
Yeah, absolutely. That's also the thing, right? Going into place 4 means immediately going in towards next season. And, well, I mean, I'm going to leave the spicy stuff to you. First of all, LTP, a little bit resonant sleeper tanks. Double IS-7, 1277, double T57, and double RHM. So far, so good.
W, on the other hand, triple T57 heavy and quadruple Batcha 25T. Now, you said LTP's lineup is resident sleeper, Kihan. Double I7, 277, double T57 is not very normal either.
No, it's not very normal. I just find those double I7, 277 a little bit on the boring side, especially when stacked up against this, well, let's say...
The planes hit, though. The planes hit. Look at W. All the Batchas were spotted.
Yeah, all the budget, except for one. Clerv hasn't been spotted yet, and double T57 also not known. But you can see this hit squad of LTP tanks, the double I7 together with the T277 is going to make its way towards those T57s of Frugo and Splati. And the thing is, yes, those tanks have a lot of firepower, but Brainbreaker doesn't have a lot of HP. Make that 0 at the start of the game, completely taken apart by the guns of LTP. And yes, those W tanks, they do have a lot of shots, but not when they're reloading, and they have made the mistake of letting LTP get close.
LTP needs to be careful now. They're starting to put themselves in a bad position. Aking crossing over, and the Synapse dying to Frugo. Frugo going for that though. Is that play worth it? Minus 2.6 on Frugo, but Noxious now getting clipped up by those double 57s with ability as well. He's down towards a 2-shot himself. The Strike comes in from Nepal and picks it up, and Aking seemingly alive in the back lines, chasing down Klurf in his Batcha 25T. So that went pretty well, but the 57s are coming for Aking though. I wouldn't ride W out just yet.
Indeed, the double T57 of Tarxic and Bloody is now going to engage on towards the ISM. The ability coming in, and pop, 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 pop it goes as Aking does blow up here. And Bloody takes a lot of damage. He still has 4 shots remaining though. Does he dare cross over? No, he turns around, and that might be a crucial mistake because Conquistador is just about to do what the T57s did to Aking. Bloody falls, and the dominoes, they just keep dropping for W here. They do find Nepal with that double Batchat, and once again, the autoloaders have something to say about this, as Ruev now caught in the middle of a lot of autoloading tanks as well. W, they managed to equalize the tanks, 2 very low ones on LTP, and W have more HP all of a sudden.
What a game of World of Tanks so far. Oh, absolute cinema. Literally cinema. I don't know how else to explain it. So we will now settle down for a while. 3 tanks are dead on either side. The double light is still alive though. And the double light Kihan could be the big difference maker.
Yes, indeed. I mean, for W, I think kind of the silver lining at this point in time is that they have a lot of HP still on Tarxic, and yes, he's going to get reset by the strike, but to be honest, at this point in time, I think that is a very important, a very crucial resource used by LTP for realistically not too much gain, because what do you get realistically from resetting that RT strike a little bit when now W have 2 to play with? The thing is, though, LTP crucially do have the spotting towers under their control, so the light tank deficit that W is playing from, they're not really gonna come back in towards the information game. They somehow need to transfer this in towards a brawl where all of a sudden the mobility and the spotting power of those light tanks don't matter.
Now we see a full rotation from W, pushing back across the north. The triple
double Batchat spotted. Plurf and Jackifier have been found.
Yeah, they use the info and then they use the plane. So they do know that W went all north, and you can see already sitting in that light tank, booking it towards 1-2 line. He might even find Itox in a bad position. I'm just looking to see if he will spot him out. No.
That was probably very close.
That was extremely close. But if Itox or anybody starts taking this bottom strikey hand, I don't know if they suspect 1-2 line being retaken already, but it doesn't look like they do. And
I mean, right now they're gonna stack the cap. There is 20 seconds still remaining on the strike. And Zitten, yeah, he does edge closer towards the strike. Still 10 seconds on there. He's probably going to try and make sure that no one is there. Yes, Itox and Klurf are probably there to screen a little bit to cover. Cap is down to 30 seconds, and no one is really close towards the cap from the side of LTP, as Zitten does push through. Toxic gets spotted. Still no triple cap ongoing, but no one is on the strikes either from the side of LTP. They will need to come close in towards the firepower of W. 16 seconds still, and they need
W
to make
left the
something
cap.
happen. They
left the cap. They're going hunting for Tankistador.
And indeed, Jackify is going to find him. First shot by Tankistador going wide. He does connect the next two as Zitten all of a sudden opens up with the crossfire, but Tankistador starts melting, starts blowing up. How much firepower can Zitten contribute as the strike goes down? Noxious does find the T-57. Tarxic takes one shot in return, is down towards one shot, does go down as well, and all of a sudden, it's only Zitten remaining in a match of World of Tanks in Onslaught that has been an absolute mess, but it was really great to watch.
Somehow, after all that, W pulls ahead and wins the round, Kian.
Honestly, this was one of the most fun rounds I have ever seen. Unfortunately for LTP, with the worst end for them, but all the better for us because it's going to be 2-2 all even. What a game. What a game.
That was something, yeah. That truly was something. I don't know. It was I don't know. It was so weird, man. Like 57's going in, 57's clipping, other 57's arriving, Batrats arriving, you know. But I think at the end of the day, the W lineup was just better for like a kind of DPM fight. I think they lost Brainbreaker without doing anything. I don't even know if he did a shot of damage, maybe one, maybe two, if we're lucky. And they managed to still win off of that. That's because they had all those 57s, and then on top of that, they also had a bunch of bad shots.
I mean, yeah, we do see W playing a 6 versus 7 here and still pulling out ahead because, yeah, Brainbreaker didn't even shoot. And realistically, 2 of those 3 T-57s of W not really doing too much, but when the third one does 6.5k, turns out it's fine.
That was one round. You could put some like circus music on it and it'd be a perfect fit.
Man, it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, like literally would fit perfectly.
Anyway, Pilsen is up next, and well, the thing is with Pilsen, both teams have played it before, and both of them have had absolutely great rounds, no two ways about it, but also both teams have had not so great rounds.
Yeah. That's, again, this is a match between two teams that are, at the end of the day, very equal, Kihan. It's just the way it is.
I mean, let's hope Pilsen is going to deliver like Ghost Town. It will probably struggle to, because that second round will probably be one that we'll be referencing for some time. Obviously, I wonder how many people are going to rewatch the replays of that one, thinking about what could have been done differently at which point in time by either team. Because obviously, like hindsight 2020, right? You know everything, you see everything, but there will be a lot of chaos that is involved in the decision making. Anyway, let's go in towards this next round here as I interrupt myself, and LTP will try to go on towards match point with one E100, an E50M, double 430U, double Fosh B, and an RHM.
E100 mouse for 30U, triple Fosh B, and an RHM for the side of W. So very similar approaches. I mean, W just has that extra heavy, while LTP has a bit more pure DPM, right?
Yeah, although the question is how well will they be able to put this DPM into the fight, because W, they do have that triple Fosh B that can be oh so explosive. Both of those teams starting with a light tank as well. And for W, they see 3 tanks. For LTP, they see 4. So not everything regarding information is given over, as Nepal does see Klurf in that in that RHM, driving over. Clerf obviously knows he got spotted, does know he got respotted, so he's probably starting to figure out some angles of where those spots are coming from. Conquistador in the 430U is going to take the middle strike, and now Nepal starts taking the info tower. Oh, good shot by Splotty.
Yeah, good spot. Good shot by EOS as well. Takes 2 in return for that. I'd almost say that's where yeah, I would agree with you actually. You know, like 2 shots, but they dropped the light to 1.4, and the light is so important. Yeah, I would say that's worth it. And now W will find control of the strike in the east. And the question is, how does LTP progress from this?
Well, so far they have double Foch B that start a rotation on the C line. They were hovering around the western part of the map. They're going to transition a little bit over towards possibly even the coal piles if they rotate that far. As IOS manages to get the strike, I don't think Takistador has been using his one so far. Aching though, taking a shot by Tarxic in that mouse, so the super heavies also starting to face off. And Nepal, once again, getting spotted in that RHM. So Clerf knows that he is still there, but he doesn't know what's lingering behind. And that is soon going to be the double Foch B. So the Frenchies with the French auto-loading TD are going to reinforce heavily in the eastern part of the map.
Yosin, that first you're just spotting out anything that could happen in front of him. And he is able to have a quite good overwatch. But that's a good shot there. One of those 4-3Us from LTP, and now down the 0 line you see Frugo, birthday boy, leading the charge, looking for some fun.
The birthday boy pushing on the 0 line, but those double Foch Bs by Zeton and Synops might have more presence than he can handle at this point in time, as they're going to start pushing as well. Nepal getting spotted, Frugo also out in the open. The double shot by the Foch B coming in as well, and Frugo indeed taking a lot of damage, and now he is down in the ditch. Is he going to be able to heal? Yes, for now. Does go up towards a 2-shot, probably 3-shot. That is a lot of heal coming out from the Foch, but against 2 of those, is it going to be enough? Not sure, as Noxious found out in the open in that 430U, down towards a 1-shot as well, goes down towards 21 HP, and all of a sudden Frugo gets found. He does have Itox in support. Synops popping the ability too, and it is a free-for-all, but somehow W have almost double the HP.
Sitten will survive, barely. Will pull around, heal up to about a 900 HP. Now Synops still spotted though, Sitten still taking damage. This repush, Kihan, they had, if they deleted Frugo, they could have played from that, but they didn't. I think there was a slow reaction on whoever had the strike. I don't think they used it. If Conquistador instantly puts it, I think Frugo dies because of that. One more shot was the difference there. If Frugo dies, Kihan, we had a different game. But in this regard, he narrowly escaped dead and then turned the whole battle.
Absolutely. And now the tanks of LTP that so far have managed to stay alive on very low HP are starting to drop. W is swooping in for the kill, as if Clerf does find Noxious. The next one on the board is probably gonna be Nepal in that RHM, as one HE shell misses here, but Toxic is having a little bit of fun at this point in time, probably a little bit of revenge for what happened on a Ghost Town #1, where it was LTP styling on W. Now it's the other way around, and the team in white is going to be on match point first.
So, with this, we can already conclude that W, no matter what, will extend their fate, most likely. I would have to see. No, the round difference is basically even, so their fate will be extended until the next play day, no matter what happens here. If LTP wins this or not, they will have another chance. So they've already secured the first objective, right? It will still be very hard if LTP wins this, because they need to, I think, win cleanly at that point to overtake them again. So ideally, W picks up the 4 points here and doesn't have to worry about any of this.
It still depends. But obviously, yes, for W, the first objective has been achieved, which was get at least 1 point today. So the mathematical possibility of staying in OLS and keeping the chances alive for the playoffs, that one has been done. However, they now want more, and more at this point in time would be the next round, which would net them from 1 point that they have already. They would go to all of a sudden 4. Which would put them ahead 3 points in front of LTP. So, yeah, let's see. First of all, let's take a look at who LTP and W are going to play on the last day. So, well, the last day, W is actually going to play against Darkside, which, for all intents and purposes, should be kind of not the hardest match to play, let's put it this way. And LTP are going to face off against Hit and Run.
Yeah. It's not the greatest, Kihan, but you also have to not forget that the teams are free to make their own tactical choices, right? Nobody's forced. It's like a Formula One. You know what I mean? You can have some funny things happening.
Exactly.
You don't have to play all. That's the beauty, and believe it or not, that is the beauty of being qualified already. For example, is that you don't have to play your best strategies. You don't need to do that. Neither for Darkside, who are already out, or Hit and Run, who will probably be already qualified by then. You know, like you're not forced to. So you don't want your fate to be decided in the last playday. And I think W remembers that very well from last season.
Yeah, probably still nightmares there, where they ended up not making it. They're trying to do better this time, and LTP currently standing in their way. Double E100, double T57, the E50M, together with a 430U and an RHM. So LTP trying with, once again, the American autoloader to get back into the match.
W in return, a mouse, a bat, triple Forge B, an E4, and RHM Panzerwagen. So they're going for the Forge B. The 57s need engagements though, okay? Like they cannot really play on range.
Yeah. And the Forge Bs, I mean, they are kind of happy with close range. They can, if need be, go longer range as well. I think the T57 really is a brawler in the sense that it goes in, like dishes out the punches and then tries to retreat, catch its breath. So as we do see the opening coming out, LTP look very, very focused on the western part of the map. However, IOS already there with the Forge B to receive, maybe deal some initial damage. He does get spotted, outspotted even, by the 430U. Very good camo, so IOS is going to draw back, not without receiving a shot of damage though. And this should enable Conquistador to edge forward if he should want to.
Hacking as well, moving forward. Klurf taking a strike on the field. They will spot out the Forge B of Frugo taking the info point. Can Nepal reset that? Yes, he can. With HE, finds a shot there, delaying the information for W very well for LTP. They're trying to deny it for as long as possible, probably, so they don't see this overload of tanks in the city.
Yep, Aking now driving forward, does get spotted, but the Forge of Itox that has spotted him was on the rotation. So a little bit of information here, a little bit of spotting there, but so far more damage taken on the team of W, namely Frugo, who is starting to heal back to 2.2k. And now LTP are going to start up the cap. Keep in mind, though, that there is the strike available for W on the RHM of Klurf, so nothing too bad yet for the international team, but I think LTP, they want to force the issue. Now double tank on the cap, and well, W, they need to come closer at some point in time where you would then favor LTP's setup with that double E100 against the only singular mouse, and even now spotted RW coming in from the western part of the map. That double Forge B is a known entity.
Dark's pulling around the corner, looking for the reset. He'll find a shot on knocking. Instead, they do still have the strike on Klurf available. They want to use that last second to decap, and there is no boosting going on from LTP on towards the cap. There is a good reset from Darks though. The strike was already used, however, I was going to say that means they could keep the strike for a little bit longer, but Klurf already put it at that point to be sure that they would get the reset. And now though, on the field, you had Nepal in trouble. Nepal in a lot of trouble, down 1k. Not sure what happened there for Nepal. He got spotted out in the open and they just blasted away at him, and LTP making some mistakes here. Tarks peeking again, but always taking the shot for that, taking two even this time. Needs to be careful with the mouse, not to overextend too much. Another one being taken. He has to reset because they use the strike. Aking is trying to shield the guys on the cap. He actually achieved it as well. Brainbreaker's taking the strike, but I don't know if that's going to be on tight. Darks knows now. He has to go in the mouse. He has to get the reset. He's down towards 436. If he doesn't get the reset right now, he does, but at what cost? He goes down. Beautiful teamwork there from LTP. Aking, the French bodyguard even, for his teammates.
Indeed, the interception coming out from Asking, but now the strike, yeah, it might be capped here actually, as Brainbreaker did end up getting reset, so this means no resets available. I mean, Frugo trying to scramble close, but it's going to be a base capture, so this match is gonna go the distance. Every single map will be split 1-1, and we treat ourselves to a dramatic, hopefully, tiebreaker.
Very funny that this match is ending up in tiebreaker after all. I mean, it's not expected anymore with the way that they've been playing, because either team is always like, you know, but it's like, as much as it's one team potentially making a little bit of a mistake, it's also down to both teams just being capable enough in the scenario to punish those mistakes, playing well and converting those rounds in their favor. LTP in this one, it looked, you know, like they were slowly getting surrounded, but you know, that slight miscoordination there between Tarks and Klurf really caused them a lot of problems, because the strike was used Gihand, and because of that, Akim was able to shield the cap. They were able to reset the strike on the other side against Brainbreaker, and poor Tarksman is forced to drive all the way out to reset.
Yeah, things falling into place for LTP in this round number 6 of this Phase 2 match here. And, you know, to be honest, it's one thing for one team to make some mistakes, and it is a completely other thing for the other team then to realize that and to profit. So good on LTP.
Let's readjust Gihand. How many points is LTP getting now, for sure?
1. Both of them are getting 1 so far, and the one that takes this round now gets 3. So
and
realistically,
LTP was 1 point ahead, right?
Yes. So if LTP wins this, then W needs LTP to lose cleanly while they win cleanly. And then we are at equal points, and then I think it would be round difference.
In which W was 1 round ahead before this. So if LTP wins this, they'll be dead even coming out of today in terms of round difference, right? Because LTP was on -1, I think, and W on 0. So W would be on, yeah, it'd be basically even. So round difference is not really going to be the greatest thing either. Like, it's like really gambling at that point. Because then we have to start looking at the order of matches on Thursday. Like, who plays first, who plays second. In this regard, I don't know actually from the top of my head.
So the first match of Thursday is going to be Darkside W, and after that it's going to be Hit versus LTP.
So basically, you're telling me that if LTP win this round, right? You're telling me that if LTP wins this round, we have the same story from Season 1 repeating in Season 2, where the fate of W depends on the hit and run.
Yes.
Oh man, this is going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, first of all, for that to happen, LTP need to win the coming round.
I think with our new PG rating, I could say the famous line from GTA, right?
I think you could, yes.
Yeah. I'm not. I just don't want to be the first, you know. I don't want to be the trendsetter.
But I could go again after.
True. But I think you know exactly which one I mean. I don't have to say it anymore.
Yeah. I think
opening scene.
Our viewers will be well versed in that kind of meme culture as well. But hell yeah. Let's go into what is definitely going to be the last round of the match. And to be honest, like we were saying it before, this is the most important match for either of those teams in the entire OLS so far. And well, if this is the most important round of the match, then this is the most important round that they're going to play. So within the next minutes or so, all that training that those teams have been doing for weeks, if not months, all of this is going to condense down into one round here on Airfield. LTP going out with probably what is their prime strategy here. W100, double T57, a singular 1-1B, a Minotauro, and an RHM.
W in return, Mouse, double bat, Grillier, Mino, E4, and RHM. So nobody really to take a B line from either team outside of for LTP, I mean. I mean,
Well,
LTP is not challenging the B line, in my opinion.
Let's see. First of all, little piece of information. It was actually W being able to pick the side here. They did choose East. So they will have no one to blame but themselves if this one is lost. And to be honest, the opening fairly good. They see everyone save Nepal in that RHM, who obviously spotted someone else with his plane as well. So W should be knowing exactly what they're playing against. Are they going to capitalize on that is the question. As LTP, pretty straightforward tactic, sending a lot of people close towards the cap. The 1-to-1 B of Conquistador is going to get split off. And maybe he might be able to find a shot into Tarksik. First of all, he chooses self-preservation, drives a bit in towards the stones here. Is going to go safe. We'll have a double bush even to work with against Tarksik. Let's see. First shot and first damage. 393 to start it off. And LTP sent Joy in towards the northern strike.
Chakefa is ready for this, though. They won't spot Joy going in, but they can make sure Joy doesn't leave. However, W will struggle here, Keyhand, in my opinion, because of that very light-ish setup, right? A double, bad shot, and an RHM. I mean, Joy gets spotted out. I don't think he's going to be taking any damage either. That was close plane. I think Chakefa may have hit the tracks of Joy. Nepal does seem to take some damage, though, in return. And as a result of that, he is going to be pushed out of the base. Itok's taking a strike as well. But still, utilizing the double bat will be hard.
Well, it's also important to remember that Nepal is now down towards one clip for those bad shots. So if he makes any kind of misstep, that could be terrible for him, as Jackifar, with the activated ability, able to put a shot in towards Joy, who opts against using the airstrike. To be honest, I think that is a pretty good decision for him to do, simply because, well, the Gorilla is not the Gorilla HP are not really going to be relevant at this point in time. So lowering it at this point makes no actual sense, as another plane is going to hit the balcony. It's going to spot out the Minotauro that immediately starts taking damage. Ability activated by Aking, so a little bit is going to be mitigated, but not too much. He's going to be down towards less than 2k. And now Frugo, Mr. Birthday Boy, he's trying to gift himself some more sweet points. And right now, he is blocking the cap against a lot of tanks, realistically, by LTP. That is a lot of assets invested in towards making this cap work. They're probably hoping for an overcommitment from Frugo, but so far he seems to be unwilling to do that.
Try coming in on towards Frugo, actually, because Joy needed to take it again. Good shot there from Aking as well. Jakefa on reload. Pop the ability. Important.
Frugo.
Yeah, Frugo taking some more, but important note there, Keyhand. Jakefa used the ability, he did not get a shot. The 1-1B took across even, so he's in position to farm this mouse. He gives him 2 shots as well, and there needs to be another block. They know now where all the positions are, and LTP realizes they're kind of surrounded in this. Big strike though, 1.2k right back at them, and Itok's taking the middle part. Will potentially start peeking out from there and be annoying in his own Minotauro.
Exactly, good shot in towards Noxious to start it off, and he is going to essentially keep this cap under lockdown. They will have to push him if they want to have any chance of getting this one through. Clerf is going to take the middle strike once again, so W building an additional layer of safety against a fast cap strategy, even if Itox should get blown up. And look at the map control right now. Look at Nepal, most importantly. Well, no possibility to look at Nepal anymore because he's dead.
Yeah, LTP gave up so much room on their own base. With their lineup, the biggest downside is if you slowly get surrounded, which they just ended up getting. They're just like the Nepal took a lot of damage in the beginning, then took a little bit more, then took a little bit more. The base got taken away, he got spotted, and then they just blasted in from angles. And now look at EOS's position as well. They're just surrounding this team from LTP rather quickly, and now Synapse and Sitten driving through. Sitten immediately taking 1k from the Gorilla. Itok's getting clipped out though. Can they find more damage? Good shooting there from the players from LTP. They find a lot of success. Aking from the top as well. Sitten dropped low. EOS with the kill all the way from D1. The Gorilla now coming in as well, and W in the tie Breaker seem to be in position where they're gonna be able to make it work. Yes, Frugo took a lot of damage in the beginning, but now these LTP tanks are driving through, marching through, trying to find stuff, but they're always just peeking into this Gorilla who's finally having an effect in this battle. And the fate, I think, Kihan, of LTP and W will be decided in the very, very last playday.
Yeah, exactly. W now really starting to edge ahead in the HP department. Another kill coming through. Ios about to be reloaded against the Minotauro is going to claim yet another scalp. And all of a sudden, just 2 players of LTP remaining. Tankistador even getting set on fire by that Griller that hasn't had the biggest of impacts, but in the end, it was big enough. W, they managed to win in tiebreaker. Name a more iconic duo.
Well, the last play day is going to be interesting. Arguably, W has the the easier path towards the playoffs, but I wouldn't say that for LTP it's over just yet. It's going to be interesting. LTP has the harder match. I really think it depends on whether the standing for Hit and Run can still change after today. I don't know the rankings on the top of my head. I'm not that smart. We'll have a look at it at the end of it. It depends really on how important is the match. We know how important it is for Darkside. Not at all. Like, literally not at all. But it could also be that for Hit and Run, it's not important at all. Which is exactly the reason why you never want to let your fate be decided on the last day. You can't expect a team to play all out when it does not matter for them.
Exactly, and I think playing all out when it doesn't matter for you doesn't even make sense, because
it's a mistake.
You want to keep those good strategies for when it actually matters for you. You don't want to, spend them on something that or someone. You don't want to try and help someone with good strategies of yours, while realistically, the team you want to help is yourself. Like,
of course.
At the end of the day, players should be selfish when it comes to positions, because that means, money.
And I don't think Hit and Run is friends with either of the two teams too much. So, you got to do what is best for your team, whatever that may be. And, W did that by winning this match, right? They did that by winning this match. They got the very important 3 points. Battle results, I think the Gorilla did at least 4K nonetheless. Not battle results, but the matches of the Hit and Run versus Mafia, we are still going to have.
Exactly. So W versus LTP going tiebreaker for W, which, to be honest, I think for us was probably the best outcome possible, because this way all of the suspense is going to get saved for what we've been talking about, that last day. And that last day is also going to be influenced by Hit and Run versus Mafia. Both of those teams may already or may not actually be confirmed. I think Hit and Run was just barely 1 point above LTP or something. So for them, actually, it matters a lot what's going to be happening here. Those points against Mafia are, I think, far from guaranteed. So for both Mafia and Hit and Run, this will be a hard-fought match, probably with higher stakes for Hit and Run. But, I mean, given the fact that a win is far from guaranteed for either here, the last day could shape up to be spicy. We'll lay the groundwork for that one in just a few minutes, when we'll be back after some replays. Well, hello there, and welcome back after a hard-fought match in which, well, I guess both teams acted according to the first letter of their team name. We now have another very important one coming up. It's going to be Hit and Run versus Mafia, so... Well, who is going to be the best Polish team in this match is going to be decided. The standings already decided, however, here, because even if Hit and Run take it clean and end up taking 4 points, then Mafia will still be in second place. So for Mafia, not that much to play for anymore. For Hit and Run, still fairly important because, well, you can see here this is very, very close between places 3, 4, and 5.
Oh yeah, actually, I didn't think about that far yet. So if Hit and Run loses this against Mafia clean, all of the sudden, Hit and Run could end 5th.
Uh-huh.
That's not gonna happen.
That's crazy.
It's not gonna happen, IMO, but it is a possibility.
It is a possibility, and to be honest, like the standings already outline that today for Hit and Run, it'll not be the easiest match. Now, obviously, if you are Mafia, this is not the most important match. Like, you're guaranteed through. First of all, a little announcement that we have to make for all of the teams that are not going to make it in towards, you know, the playoffs, and also for people who maybe think it's very cool what they're seeing here. Then we'll have qualifiers, open qualifiers, even on March 1st and 2nd, 2025. So if you think you got what it takes to compete in Onslaught Legends Series Season 3, and if you want to take home your share of the prize pool, then this is your chance.
So that is going to be a big opportunity for all of those teams, even the ones that got relegated already. But back on track, Mafia versus Hit and Run. Now, Keyhand, you know, Mafia may have some... You said it. It's not that important for them. And if I remember well, it was Hit and Run that made sure that... decided Mafia's fate last time around. It's ironic how the timelines are converging again upon the same point.
Well, the thing is, like, not only was that kind of matchup very important when it came to last OLS season, but I want to remind you of something that happened more recently, and that was a Hit and Run versus Mafia match. It was a best of 9. It went to tiebreaker on Airfield of all maps, with Hit and Run taking the victory, and that is why Hit and Run ended up going to China. So I think both of those teams have nothing to gift to each other. The gifts obviously have been already given out towards the birthday boy. Frugo, he's going to be happy about what happened today, but, well, first of all, Yuzek, he used to be on the team of Storm, but I think also a very strong addition towards the team of Mafia, just like, well, he probably has a strong desk that he's playing at, because he tends to be vocal, he tends to be expressive about what's going on. DJ, not so much vocal or expressive, but he certainly has been putting in those damage numbers as well. And interestingly enough, we're showing here a player of Hit and Run below a 1.0 KD, and that is because, well, some of the matches for Hit and Run have been going well. Others have not, and that is why Hit and Run, realistically, they want to book their tickets towards the playoffs today. They need a clean victory. They want a clean victory, and we are going to, after Airfield and Westfield get removed, going to start on Studzianki in towards Murowanka. So sort of semi-fast, semi-slow map in towards what is being played as a very fast map, in my opinion. Then Pilsen going to be map number 3, and if it's going to go to tiebreaker, it will be Iconic Cliff. What are we making of this?
Well, they went for the middle ground in terms of like speed of maps, I find. Nothing too fast, nothing too slow with like Airfield, but playable for both. It's hard to say what it's going to be. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable.
Honestly, I wasn't sure what to put here. I think because Hit and Run need the points more, they are going to show up with better strats, but obviously individual misplays can turn it either way. Mafia have had the better showing throughout the whole season. And realistically, like this point disparity between both of those teams, if you think about it, it really comes from Hit and Run losing against Darkside, which is a weakness, has been a weakness, but that weakness hasn't influenced their results against other teams.
No, but it did. That's why we talk about it. It's so important to take those points in the beginning of the season, right?
Yep. I mean, you accumulate all of them to essentially determine your seeding and to make it in towards playoff stage. And so Hit and Run are going to confirm their spot there with an E100, double 430U, 1 Fosh B, a V4, an E3, and an RHM.
Mafia in return, RHM, double Fosh B, 430U, CS63, and a double mouse. So, philosophy differences between these two teams.
Yeah, I think Mafia are going to utilize that double mouse sort of as an anchor, and then all of the other tanks that they have are going to play a fairly mobile game around it. The CS63 obviously not the best in shootouts, but it does bring that very important baby strike with it, which should enable the resets, should push come to shove here, as Monster and Ketsai, so the E100 and the E3 for Hit and Run do get spotted together with Mentos, but that information was going to be given anyway since he planed. And so now YOLO is able to steal that initial spotting plane away with Mentos being in the back there. And, well, YOLO, he could use that plane to essentially spot Mentos, doesn't opt for it. But Mentos, you can see it's a game of chicken right now around this information tower in the northwest.
Yeah, YOLO's not about to get baited by Mentos, though. He knows that Pro is always fake, apparently. Mentos is going to be...
in World of Tanks, yeah.
Yeah, World of Tanks, yeah. But look at the adjustment from Mafia, though. They are gathering up on the B line. There is an E3 there from Monster. Last time we saw a play like this, I think it was Darkside. No, it wasn't Darkside. It was LTP. Pushing like BC line, and they ran into a T57, and T57 wasn't that hard to deal with. An E3 in that position is a bit more annoying.
Yeah, first of all, I think Mafia, they have a window of opportunity right now with, first of all, Conrad taking a big one to the face, realizes he's spotted, pops the ability, but no one else to shoot at. So the ability going kind of to waste, you're going to heal back a little bit, but not too much. And now this window of opportunity that I was talking about, it's because Hit and Run have 3 tanks, make that 4 out of the fight, not close to the cap, but now Panzfury, Franek, and the other 430U are going to... well, make their way back up to the north, where realistically a lot of the action is going to take place. Mafia now also coming in with a rotation, however, so they're not going to immediately force the issue around the cap. And now Panzfury and Franek, those are 2 tanks that can play the hold down positions at the southern strike that is located oh so close to the cap. Those mouses very tall, but I don't think they're tall enough to really contest the 430U down in the ditch.
Strike being taken by Panzerfury while the rotations towards the south happen. Orchek is probably going to stick it this time. The radio tower, no, not sticking it still. He doesn't know that Mentos doesn't have a plane. So he's trying to play it very slow and steady, methodical. I like that. But they are lacking a little bit of info key.
Indeed, some HE shells are being used now to destroy some of the buildings. And you can see both of those teams are trying to bait reactions out of each other. That's probably also because, well, some of them, maybe there are some trainings ongoing between them. So in between both of those, we have this additional layer of mind games going on of, well, whatever we played in trainings, we cannot use right now. Because that would immediately give up the jig towards the enemy team. Now, Yuzek is going to start it on the C line. Initial aggression coming out. Monster with that E3 is waiting. Good shot to start off the brawl, and another one, I think from the RHM even, funnily enough, in towards the mouse that goes down below 3k. And now Mafia realize they need to do something. They have some tanks here, but that is a lot of firepower they're driving in towards. A lot of shots as well, and Monster with another good number on towards Conrad.
Well, they're marching on with that mouse, with those Foshbs, with the 430U. Conrad already bailing out. He doesn't want to go anymore. Does he pop the ability? He does, so he'll be healing most of that back. He's clipping out Ketsai, gets 1, gets 2, gets 3 even. The strike will hit hard, and all of the tanks from Hit and Run are currently located in this part of the map as Panzer Fury shuts down Orchek. The march from Hit and Run comes back in. They have closed this window of opportunity that was given to Mafia a long time ago. It no longer was there. They opted for it after all, but Hit and Run was very, very ready this time.
Exactly, the opportunity is gone and the door has been slammed shut actually, just like Hit and Run now slam a dunk. The remainder of this round, if this was basketball, it would be a 3-point conversion. It's just going to be a single one on the board, but Hit and Run going into this match looking extremely ready. Yes, they did give an opening to Mafia, but using those openings is extremely difficult if you don't know that they exist. And so Hit and Run are going to go in here, possibly even a clean scoreline of 7-0. I don't think YOLO is going to be able to make anything happen here. And Hit and Run are going to have 1. Mafia, so far not stealing anything, 0.
I mean, we did highlight the importance of this match for Hit and Run, less for Mafia. 1 round is a bit too little to really take away too much from it, but it's a good start for Hit and Run. It realizes the opportunities that Mafia has, shut it down. They convert another round of Suzuki. They're in prime position to take it home, and if they do that, then they'll be like chilling for the next play day. Would be sad for our timeline where everybody has the possibility to knock out anybody, but you know.
Yeah, in the end, I mean, the teams are going to do what's best for them, and for Mafia, that's probably going to be not showing their best strategies. We do see the damage numbers here, and they do really reveal that, well, Mafia found no opening in whatever Hit and Run was doing. Instead, it was, yeah, just Hit taking control of the match, never letting go of it. All of their tanks also actively contributing towards the results of it. So no one was hung out to dry. You could see there was the push on towards Monster, but then Strike to support, and all the tanks were there immediately. So yes, that window of opportunity, it was just gone before Mafia realistically could seize it. I think there was some potential for Mafia even in this one. But they didn't realize that Mentos didn't have a plane. So some of that mobility on some of their tanks that they could have used, they were afraid of doing that just because they could have gotten caught. And Phase 1 scores, interestingly enough, we talked about it like Hit and Run having less points, but not because of the match against Mafia. That one ended up going 3-0 their way.
Yeah, I think I have some flashbacks to this match where Hit and Run just kind of ran over Mafia in a way. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was super close and I just remember the scoreline. But yeah, Hit and Run just lost points against teams where they normally shouldn't lose them. Let's not be real though. They're not in a bad situation whatsoever. I mean, if they win this, like nothing even ever happened, right?
Yeah, exactly. If they get 4 points clean here, they're also through. So for them, realistically, right now, it's just about getting those 4 points, not screwing up. And they're going to this one with, ooh, this is kind of a throwback to January meta even, as they have one batch at double 430U, an UDES and triple 268 version 4.
Mafia on the return, going for that triple German heavy block. Double mouse and E100, double 430U behind it, a Force B, the round of the pack, and the RHM for the information. Now, the very most important, crucial moment is how many people does YOLO hit in the beginning with the plane. Of course, with the ability rework this season, it's harder to hit big planes.
3. So I think the biggest point or the biggest part of information here is that they do see that triple V4. So they're aware that Hit and Run are cooking something, but what exactly it is, I don't think they know, just because they don't have most of the information, as Konrad is going to commit down in that 430U in towards the cap. That's going to net him a pretty good position. However, Franek and T-Sek immediately driving forwards. T-Sek taking a lot of damage. T-Sek, that is. And now in come tanks by either team. They're trying to remedy whatever is happening here. Rammed by Marcel, but the first victim is actually going to be Konrad. T-Sek down towards a 2-shot. Is Marcel going to be picking it up? Let's see. T-Sek able to get safe. Not really, but both of them blowing up. It was a 2-for-1 trade in Hit and Run's favor.
Yeah, Hit and Run able to converge on those double 430Us. They're the damage dealers. The HP looks even, but keep in mind that's mainly because they have those German heavies, those meatballs with a lot of it. I mean, look at those mouses. 8.6 HP between the two of them. Like, sure, the HP is even, but what does it matter when the mouses carry all of it? Katsai now coming in with the bat as well. They're focusing on the lowest health German heavy, the E100 of Kono. And even though the game still looks relatively close, the realization and the reality of the battle is not quite the same.
Exactly. I mean, Katsai getting bullied a little, but the Mafia tanks are not going to be winning this one because all of those hit and run tanks still pounding away at them. That being said, the HP gap has closed a little. It is a 3 versus 4 with Yuzek right now cosplaying a literal wall to protect Profuse from going down. So far, he's even successful. Monster with that Udas struggling a little bit as well. It has to be DJ to pick it up. The Udas not with the best of pens. And now YOLO with that RHM from the sidelines trying to do what he can. Mentos with a shot in towards Kono. It is still 4 versus 3, but in comes Franek and he has brought DPM.
Yeah, Franek in that 430U is enough to seal the deal. Hit and Run will pick up 2 rounds on Studs Yankee. Good stuff from them. Yeah, the plane may have hit the V4 ski hand, but he did miss the rest, and they sent Konrad in. He gets immediately repushed. Those German heavies are a bit more out of the fight than the V4s, and it just from that point on, it should be over. It's just the way it is. I mean, the HP always tells a story, but it sometimes also tells you a fantasy. And in this case, it was definitely a fantasy story. It's like, oh my god, it's so close. And then you look and it's like a 8.6k HP on the mouses, add like another 2.5k from the E100. All of a sudden, you have 11,000 HP amongst 3 tanks. And you're like, it's not that close. It's really not.
Yeah, I think in the end, it just started looking a little bit close because Hit and Run had a little bit of trouble trying to melt through all of that HP that we saw. But yeah, as soon as the 430U and the Batchat arrived and the Batchat starts clipping, the 430U starts DPMing, the RHM is down towards a 2-shot. This is where I think Mafia also realized that that round as well wasn't going to go their way, but hold up, wait a second. Franek, 8.5.
Yeah, I don't know when he did 8.5, but he did do 8.5. Beautiful shooting from him as well, but rocking like a 90% pen ratio there. Even with all the Onslaught modifiers, it can be annoying from time to time to shoot those German heavies. Oddcheck, yeah, not getting too much. Mafia looking down the barrel right now. Round number 1 had some opportunities. I would even say more than this one. Round number 2 was once Konrad dies, it shouldn't be possible to recover.
And I think the team of Hit and Run exactly recognized what Mafia were trying to do with those super heavies, and they were like, well, gotcha. Our tanks are in the fight earlier. We'll be able to blow up those crucial DPM tanks on your lineup that you have, and after that you're left with super heavies that are immobile. Well, they can, you know, provide great synergy for each other with, you know, group heal, shielding, etc. But at the end of the day, we just have the firepower to just blast straight through that. And now this means that Hit and Run's map pick of Studzianki is completely going to go their way. 2-0 score line. And we are going to have a little drive. And we are going to end up on Murovanka. So a little bit in towards the countryside. Theme of the map is going to be summer, but so far it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows, at least for Mafia.
Now, what kind of a strat are we getting here on Muro? Does Hit and Run just hit them with the knockout punch, put it on match point, reassert dominance, and they're like, we're still here, guys. We still got it in us. How many points ahead was Mafia again in front of Hit and Run?
6.
6.
So I think it was 18-24.
So technically, Hit and Run could still become second, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Actually, on the last day, Mafia is going to play cashback. So, ooh. Anyway, hit and run in round number 3, looking for the 3rd point on the board, and they're going to do so with straightforward lineup once again: quadruple 430U, Bat Chat, and double BZ75.
Mafia, on the other hand, as hit and runs changes one of those 430Us for a second bat, triple E100, a bat, a 430U, a Hori, and an RHM Panzerwagen. A lot of pressure on YOLO again to see a lot of tanks in the beginning. They do not want to end up getting too surprised, but hit and run has tanks that could dodge in any direction, really.
So I think either team has win condition here. Hit and run, they need to essentially take out the tanks that are not the E100s. And Mafia, they somehow need to make hit and run engage the E100s and profit off of that. This is how this one's going to go, as Pan's Fury is going to get a spot on towards Profuse in that E100, who is already trucking down towards the cap. And now the double 430U for a hit and run getting found together with the double BZ. They're hovering around on that 3 line to have the possibility to provide emergency resets. But Mafia, they are just slowly marching towards the cap. No immediate pressure yet. T-Sec is going to take the strike. So hit and run, getting that little bit of safety once again to have the resets available. Hit and run also without a light tank. That might be problematic when it comes to those strikes. But now T-Sec, I think he needs some help against Yuzek, because that is a lot of firepower that's very close towards him. He's also outspotted now, simply because of the way of how the spotting points work on the 430U with that very, very wide hole.
They're going to try and execute Yuzek in a way. They're going to try and do a lot of damage to him. It looks like 430Us are moving for that. Ketsai spots out YOLO, is pushing him as well. There is going to be a bad shot supporting of Conrad, who is assuming that there's going to be more behind this. YOLO outspots Ketsai, will probably give him a shot as well. A big HE shell 430. Conrad not scared away actually by this whatsoever. Ketsai now running away. And they tried to do some damage to Yuzek. They succeeded, but not really as much as you would imagine. And this radio tower will give a lot of information to Mafia, knowing that Ketsai is on that 0 line. They're going to keep pounding that bat shot, find the information because of the tower, and the cap still going on in the HP. Now a bit worse for wear for the side of Mafia. This one didn't update fully yet, but they are finding some good shots on Yuzek though still.
Yeah, Ketsai here, make no mistake, he's on 1500 HP, so not a super healthy Batchat anymore, but what's more important is that cap actually down towards 15 seconds, but in comes the reset. Not sure if that was the strike, but now T-Sec is trying to gobble up yet another one. Yuzek, however, is finding himself in a lot of trouble in his E100. He's trying to not only, hug the house, he's trying to be inside the house, but that is obviously not possible for the E100. And as this one goes, the HP are kind of equal, and now DJ might be a point of weakness for the team of Hit and Run, because Mafia, they're forming up for a push, and I do believe, Ducky, they have the necessary assets.
Yeah, if Marcel, Conrad, YOLO, and Profuse finding DJ in that BZ75. DJ is trying to boost away, but he already has a Batcha behind him as T-Sec is facing up against Kono as well. In the meantime, that's a 1v1, and Kono has a lot of HP, which negates that DPM advantage that 430U has. Hit and Run now has to converge on the middle of the map. Franek coming in already. The Z100s have found much better positions, though. Can Franek find the shot as well? You see how long he has to aim. He does find it, but not before Yuzek reloads, but he whiffs the shot, and as Yuzek will fall to Jacek, Ketsai in that bad shot. Kono is now down and out in a second or two as well. Franek, T-Sec, Monster, the trio. Actually, 2 out of the 3 miss. Gives Kono another opportunity to do one more shot, and he finds it against T-Sec as well. 534. Profuse now in his E100, doing a little bit more damage as well. But as the dust settles, what do we have? Minus double E100 in return for 1 BZ75.
To be honest, minus double E100, not the worst tanks to lose for Mafia here. Yes, a lot of that HP and meat is gone, but now Monster does end up getting found, and he takes a lot of damage. Marcel, however, down towards 211 as well on the other side of the map, and Ketsai to pick it up. This makes it 6 versus 4. The HP also in favor of Hit and Run, but Mafia still have that light tank of YOLO. But T-Sec is taking the strike for what feels like the nth time today, probably the 3rd in this game. And now Pan's Fury, needs to be a little bit careful. However, he does still have a lot of HP in that bat shot. This means that the bat shot of Conrad on Mafia's lineup, it cannot push. He's only on 1300, and now I think Hit and Run are looking for the be-all and end-all in this round. However, Cat's Eye might be ended prematurely here as Profuse activating the heal ability, and those bat shots struggling to penetrate the E100. Profuse, absolute Giga Chat, taking all of those heat rounds, and I believe Hit and Run, they're even gonna use the strike on the E100 just because they weren't able to penetrate it. Absolute skill issue.
Absolute cinema once more. Those double bat shots fluffing like 4 shots between them. I think Ketsai only fluffed 1, but Fury bouncing like 3. That heat against the one-handed side, bit annoying.
What am I
like dying against YOLO in the meantime. The strike picking up another kill there, and now it's a 4-on-4. Information will be taken by Franek. The cap will be set, but somehow Hit and Run are now not in the greatest of positions anymore. YOLO in that light will be very, very detrimental. Monster in the 430U is trying to hunt a little bit, but he should have seen the 3 knocked over. No, he doesn't realize it. Nobody watching from his teammates either. YOLO moving for the middle strike as Mentos is going for the information tower. That is spotted out as well. And now Hit and Run adjusting, pulling back. They have one thing that Mafia doesn't yet.
Well, they first of all have 4 tanks. And that is obviously one more than Mafia. This means that Mafia still need to do another kill, and that one might just happen as the BZ75 of Mentos goes down to, well, iconically enough, 75 HP. That means it's very much one-strikeable, even one-shottable for that RHM. And, well, now all of the points of interest starting to come off of cooldown, except for the western one, which Hit and Run actually controls, as YOLO is going to have a little snack with that strike. He is going to spot all of the tanks for Hit and Run. And now let's see what exactly Mafia are going to make of this information.
They're sending YOLO to pick up the middle strike by the looks of things. Mentos now using his booster, trying to get out of there. YOLO will drive in it. Now Hit and Run realize that they're about to lose their last tank advantage, which is that BZ75. Franek is going to be pushing up 1-2 line. It's a move that I like. It's good, especially because he's one of the healthier tanks. So if he takes some damage, it's okay. If YOLO uses the strike on it, that means he cannot kill Mentos. So a lot of advantages to doing that.
Yep, Franek now takes the western info tower, immediately used. So for this time, at this point in time, actually information available for Hit and Run, and this is prompting them in towards a rotation. They're going to set up around the cap. Keep in mind, though, YOLO has that strike still remaining, and I believe he just used the plane to find out about Franek's exact position. So let's see how this one goes. If YOLO gets one more information tower, then he should be able to one-strike Mentos as he takes a shot of damage actually by the 430U. He's going to use the strike. Franek down towards a one-shot. This is problematic because the formerly very healthy 430U is now down towards a one-shot for YOLO, and Pan's Fury as well trying to take the information tower, taking some damage by, I believe, the Hori, and YOLO indeed does convert the kill. So it is now all even, 3-3. Who has dealt more damage? I'm not exactly sure, given that Mafia have so much more HP and Hit and Run started with triple E100. It's probably the team in blue.
Yeah, Mentos misses.
Sorry, no, it was Mafia starting with triple E100.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Mafia had triple E100 in this, so damage dealt is actually going to be closer than you imagine in this scenario. Panzer Fury hunting for YOLO, though. It does get spotted out. YOLO does find the spot, so he is now going to be just fine. Backing away, another strike being taken, and that's the biggest issue there. Once the strike gets taken, Keyhand, there is no kills for Hit and Run to gain. They need to somehow use Monster to do some damage.
Yes, and now YOLO is taking the information tower. This is going to give up Mentos, probably leaving him hang out to dry. They don't even maybe need to use the strike as they do Mentos. He has another booster available, but around the corner comes Orzek, and he shuts it up. He shuts it down even. So now Hit and Run playing from behind. They need to find a kill, but those tanks by Mafia still very healthy. Monster gets spotted out. 900, but the whole re-AP obviously enough to go through that 430U. Conrad from the sidelines to pick it up as well. Orzhek already reloaded in the Hori. Should be able to defend himself. 30 seconds, and Mafia are going to take the first round in this match.
Good stuff there from Mafia. It looked dire at some point, really dire, but then some happened against an E100, which left the E100 alive for much longer, and yeah,
I mean
Getsai would be
killed because of it.
would be alive if they don't fluff. He would be alive.
They got a kill because of it. They had, like, Hit and Run had to use a strike because 2 Batchats from 2 different angles for some reason were unable to penetrate an E100. So, I mean, Profuse, good job angling, but towards the Hit and Run Batchats, we have to raise some questions. Okay. I mean, I was trying to say it in a nice way, but yeah. I guess let's go to post-battle results so we can check some of those hit and pen rates. It wasn't the prettiest, let's put it this way. What is very pretty, however, is Orzhek's damage, a 6.3, and YOLO, obviously, when given such an opportunity, he doesn't let go of those. And, well, an entire Batchat clip is actually what Profuse bounced, 1,950, and... well, those Batchats, 10-9-6, and Pan's Fury, 12-12-7. I think we know where things went wrong for Hit and Run here.
Yeah, and they're going to be very unhappy about that because they're just giving Mafia like a way back in, like a life jacket. Because this round was over, you know? It was really over.
Yep.
It's weird that I understand, like, they really wanted to finish the game, but they didn't really have to make a move.
No, I think so as well. Also, I think the timing on the Batchats, like, if we're really going to nitpick, was a little bit off because the lower HP Batchat went in first. But I think the best thing for Hit and Run is just to put this round past them, to forget if it ever happened, and just to keep playing like they were doing during, well, the first map and also the first half of the first round of map number 2. Because then, if we look at it from this perspective, Hit and Run is still playing a very good match. Obviously, Mafia have shown comeback qualities, and it would be quite the comeback if they completely convert their own map pick now, because then all of a sudden from a 2-0 scoreline Hit and Run, we would go towards a 2-2, but obviously Hit and Run, they want to go towards match point. And, well, the tanks they're picking are very Hit and Run-esque, if we want to say it this way. Double 50B, triple 277, a CS, and a Foch B, so entirely skipping that light tank in favor of 277s.
Mafia in return, opting for 430Us and Foch Bs, times 2 each in RHM, an AX, and an E100. Again, no light tank for Hit and Run.
It ended up hurting them last round, and this time around, the light tank of Mafia does actually get the spot on those 277s, so this immediate push towards the cap, it's going to get fanned out, especially since YOLO was able to get the complete information. So now it's up to Mafia how exactly they react. Spotting tower coming out from the E100 of... from the Foch B of Hit and Run as well. So both teams playing with kind of complete information. Getsai already taking away the middle strike. So the only one that could be taken for resets is the outside one that YOLO has now arrived at, but he does end up getting spotted. He cannot really take it right now. So Conrad, it will be him who has to reset, but he needs to kind of expose against triple 277. 12 seconds left. At some point in time, he'll only have one reload. And indeed, the strike does come down here. The RHM will not be able to pick it up. Orzhek now completely pushing in without Force B. This is full-on emergency mode coming out from Mafia.
Yeah, but the double 277 actually missing that Force B when it YOLO'd in, which leaves Orchak alive to do its full clip, which could be a big difference maker if you think about it. Kono, Yuzek, and company now doing the damage, finding some kills, and Franek is down low. They need to start focusing out this DPM as the Force B's on reload, and Casino's 4-2 is starting to hurt these 277s that don't have any additional DPM. Marcel coming back in as well, and a double bounce on the Force B may not look impactful, but it might as well be the difference maker in this one, as the 4-2s are having a field day in this one. I mean, one of them is down and out. Ketsai coming back in, but here comes Kono back off reload in his Force B. Tisek losing against YOLO. Hit and run have the extra tank advantage, though. Kono is going to heal all that back, and they put him down before he starts healing. No, they cannot. He heals back across against these two shots. Once more, he even heals above the CS63 Alpha. Panzer Fury yet still on reload. Ketsai giving another shot, but this Force B just doesn't want to die. Panzer Fury finally puts him out, but that 4-3 of Yuzek has been shooting for what seems at least a minute, and we know how much damage a 4-3 with DPM ability can do in just that amount of time.
Exactly, as YOLO now helps to shut down the 50B, all of a sudden it's just Ketsai remaining, and he is not going to pull off the 1 versus 3. This means that Mafia, after 2, well, let's say not best rounds on Studzianki, are going to make a comeback on Muravanka. They're going to equalize the match, and I think Yuzek just about showcased the power of the 430U if left unchecked.
At 6k, 7k, don't know. He was shooting for a minute straight at least. It started off with that double bounce against the Force B, and honestly, if they all hit together with the 50B, the Force B does not have time to heal. It takes a lot less time to kill him. I'm not sure it would change the game. I won't say that much, but I know that for sure it means that the Force B of Orchak got to shoot all his shots.
Well, he ended up doing 4-4-4, but
okay, he didn't shoot all of them.
Kono was able to get, well, another clip off, and 12-12-12. I mean, perfect shooting. Yuzek as well. I mean, the damage might not be like as impressive as we thought, but maybe a lot of that did go to waste because he ended up picking up 5 kills. So let's say on average you have only 200 out of the 440 damage converted there. That is like around 1,000 damage that we are essentially not seeing, but obviously the 430U kind of slow reload with the ability active. So yeah, he probably has more potential damage done. And after Studzianki, it was not looking good for Mafia. It was looking very good for Hit and Run, but all of a sudden that has kind of turned because the score is now looking even, but I think the hype train, or maybe the momentum, I think is a better word to say it, is definitely on Mafia's side now, because they managed to wrestle away that first round, and in that second round, they just went in it. They were kind of pressured in towards the reset play, but it ended up not hurting them.
No, it went fine for them at the end, and that's the Force Bs and 430Us bringing them across the finish line, because every single one of those tanks has like a unique ability to really do a lot, while you have Force Bs and 430Us facing off again against 277s.
Yeah, I mean, the 277, it does get a little bit better DPM if it activates the ability, but realistically, like the Force B negates any kind of DPM that you gain via the HP regeneration, and the 430U, it just gets better DPM, straight up. So, yeah. Now, who is going to put themselves on match point? Is it going to be Hit and Run or Mafia? The team in white here, Hit and Run, a singular E100, a T57, a Centurion Action X, triple Force B, and an EBR. So once again, philosophical differences here in the lineups.
For sure, because Mafia has to bring in the light. With the rest, is just a bit of choice. Triple Force B as well, 430U, double mouse. But EBR on Pilsen, I don't know what it's picked for exactly, or how they plan to utilize it. I'm sure it can get quick info, but
I guess we're about to see the EBR immediately booking it towards the middle of the map. I think we've seen this in one match already. where the EBR essentially went through the middle and made up for not having the plane by spotting some tanks early. However, he does see YOLO, who manages to not hit the shot against that EBR, but no damage taken by YOLO either, so kind of, you know, really mitigating each other a little bit. However, the Mafia tanks, I mean, they are focused around the cap. Meanwhile, Hit and Run, they are starting to converge around the coal piles, so they are going to play outside. And this means that, you know, long story short, Hit and Run, they are going to have more resources, more neutral objectives to work with.
Orchek taking a strike in return. But yeah, Hit and Run will still have 2. Hit and Run has those triple Force Beasts that have been unspotted. Mentos taking a shot though by the RHM. And that's the thing though, the EBR cannot outspot the RHM. Ooh, Marcel giving one. Marcel trying to give the second, doesn't succeed at that. Pops his ability to make sure he doesn't take any damage, but here comes the push in the middle though. Double strike on Kono and Konrad. Kono activates the ability in the nick of time. He will heal most of that back, and Konrad dodges it all together. Perfect timing there from Kono, pressing that button when it matters the most. And Yusek now to shut down DJ, puts him in the grave, and all of a sudden Hit and Run down 4,000 HP. Now the Force Bees of Hit and Run making their way back in. Monster coming around that corner, wants to peek against Kono, who's on reload, has no ability activated either. The double Force Beat though, they will pick up Kono, but is it enough to make a difference in this one? The Mouses in the meantime, and all the rest of the Mafia tanks have been positioned to deal the damage in return. And as Monster is 600 HP, Konrad will fall as well, but the cost of this is 6,000 HP. And yeah, the Mouses carry most of it, but now they gotta use those Mouses, push them forward like the wall that they're supposed to be.
Absolutely, as the Mouses do end up giving shots in towards Pansfury, also ability active, so he's going to be healing some of it, but Orzek is just going to run towards his friends, and those are the double Mouses, and Profuse finally doing what the Mouse is supposed to, which is tank the damage to T-57 of Ketsai, is able to dish out a lot of punishment, but Profuse completely unfazed by this, as Pansfury now does find Orzek, but that one also has a clip available, and he's going to play the No You, the Uno reverse. He's going to shut down the Hit and Run player, leaving only 4 available. Mentos not really able to have an impact with the limited EBR DPM, and just like that, Mafia come back into the match from a 0-2 deficit all the way to match point. T-Shek is able to kill Orzek, and Mentos even shuts down YOLO, so it starts becoming close, but once again, Yusek with another shutdown, so it's 2 versus 3.
That did really not go well. You know, EBR with triple Force B behind them, unspotted. All Cool and all Mafias realize it. They smell an opportunity in the water and they just find the C100. And then you look, glance again, it's like minus 5k.
I mean, Hit and Run, the game is not finished, right? But I think it might be kind of over. I mean, good shot by Franek here. Now in towards the Mouse. That is going to give a little bit of charge towards his ability as well. That is on triple charge anyway already. And a shot by Mentos here also in towards the Foshby. He does end up getting spotted, and now Franek, he wanted to go forward a little bit, but those Mouses, I mean, they're still so healthy. If Mafia try to somehow hunker down and play a weird game and give opportunities to Hit and Run, then, you know, there is a way, but like this, they know where the Centurion is, and the Mouses, they, you know, they quickly reorient themselves. They're like, all right, where's my keyboard? Where's that button between Q and E? Ah, there it is, W, and then it's over.
Mentos could extend this battle for a little more, but the reality will remain the same. Mafia on match point, Hit and Run down against the ropes. And gotta say though, it's interesting that it turned out this way, Kihand. Wouldn't expect this at the beginning of the match, right?
No, absolutely not. And realistically, Hit and Run have a lot more to play for, but Mafia seemingly not in the mood for any kind of freebies. So already one of the points in the match after this round will be going directly to their account. And they're looking for more. I mean, if Mafia win here now, they're going to 28, but I think Cashback already has 33, so they shouldn't be able to catch them anymore. So realistically, maybe Mafia trying to get a little bit of revenge on towards Hit and Run. No sympathy in between teammates here.
It would really it really would just make the last play there very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Although it would also be interesting. It will also be interesting if Hit and Run still win this. You know.
I mean,
Nonetheless.
both outcomes.
Yeah.
It's perfect for us. Both outcomes are fine. It keeps it interesting.
Neither of the two outcomes really is a sealed deal. So that's the best possible result. But yeah, Mafia. Were they down 2-0? Or was it 1-1?
It was 2-0 for Hit and Run after Studzianki, and then, you know, two
it was
times
2-0
row
after
back to back.
Studzianki.
And now Mafia here looking good. Looking good. And I mean, you know, obviously if you're a fanboy of Hit and Run, you're not happy to see this, but for the overall state of things and for the suspense, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, it was like I was like, how did we get here?
Yeah, like at the start of phase 2, you know, Darkseid started losing, LTP started losing, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, top 4 teams kind of locked in, no surprise there, and here we are.
I mean, good stuff from Mafia. It's wanting to come back from a 2-0, but 3 rounds in a row. If they win now 4 in a row, it's like a real smack to the face.
Absolutely. And I mean, Yuzek, we were talking about him, the wall, and he does 6k. So, well, it seems like, you know, he was continuously
His
in the
teammates
fight.
are safe.
Yeah, the fact that he was still on full HP at some point in time wasn't because he wasn't close towards the enemy. It was just that, well, they didn't want to shoot him because he was a mouse.
Yuzek taking revenge for China.
Oof. I mean, he probably has some grudge still remaining in him about that one, yeah.
Yeah, so does the desk.
I mean, true and real.
So, what did wait, hold up. All of you predicted Hit and Run, no?
Yeah, but in tiebreaker. So I still got some copium in my bottle. Don't worry.
I know who predicted Mafia.
It's exactly like Phil said. Like, you're gonna keep pretending that you don't care about the predictions
but it's
until
funny.
you start winning.
I don't really. I'm not caring about the overall predictions. I'm just caring about this one match.
Isolated in itself.
It's an isolated incident altogether. There's no connection there.
All right, Hit and Run though, they're going up against Match Point, and they really need this round, in my opinion, for the standings as well. It would put them one ahead of W. The E100 of DJ together with Double T57, a Centurion Action X, Double 430U, and the RHM.
Mafia again, the double mouse, the AX, the triple push B, and the RHM. Now, let's see what this plays out. A bit more standard now from Hit and Run, you know? No EBR, back to RHM.
Yeah, I think they're back to default. Maybe resetting a little bit. You can see Franek, Ketsai, Tishek all driving back, trying to evade the plane that actually only catches the E100. And Hit and Run, Mentos providing a lot more information, actually. Double mouse, Centurion, 1-4B, and the RHM found. And this also means that Mentos gets another plane, YOLO doesn't.
YOLO's taking field immediately, though. He has a strike hand that he does have available, so be a trade-off there. Panzer Fury is taking this strike, even if YOLO was somehow... Oh, will YOLO get this shot, though? That's a good question. Doesn't look like it. It looks like he's just going to let Panzer Fury take it. So Panzer Fury takes the strike. Gono edging ahead, wants to potentially take one of them himself. And now... Hit and Run. Just a small advantage in the beginning. The 430U getting spotted out, taking the field. Nothing too serious happening just yet. Franek might take another strike, though.
Well, I mean, Franek driving on towards the open now. He's going to at least contest the strike here. Let's see if Panzfury opts to reset the strike on the outside. But given that Hit and Run are not really going for... Sorry, no. Like, who is going to reset? No one will. Franek is just going to take the strike for free here. And now the double mouse of Profuse and Yuzek at the factory in the middle of the map. They're just holding the front and giving time to the rest of their team to do whatever. However, they need to be careful not to sacrifice too much HP in the process. Yuzek has been giving up some of it, But still, 3.5, very healthy. But, you know, those trades, if they keep happening, they could add up.
Yeah, so far Mafia not getting a lot of success with those double mouses in this battle, and Hit and Run is adjusting very, very heavily towards a potential 1-2 play. Profus now taking another shot as well. The double push B is pushing out, but look at Hit and Run. They're very, very ready for this. The Archem does get outspotted of Mentals by YOLO, so a little trade-off there. Now the question is, does YOLO try to take the info or not? Orchek does get spotted out, and I think Hit and Run might use this opportunity as a moment of... Ooh, Ketsa getting spotted out as well.
I mean, let's see. Orjek does go for it here, but the single shot that he fires ends up not dealing damage. It's someone else tagging Katsai, but I think this is what Hit and Run were looking for, at least in the information department. The T-57 now driving ahead. The one of T-Shek, that is, and Orjek taking a lot of damage. Is he gonna get blown up? No, the strike reduces him to a mere one shot, and all of a sudden the healing ability is going to kick in. Yes, a E100 shot is going to put him down a little bit, but that is not gonna matter. He's still going to be a menace or annoying to kill. Goes down towards a one-shot, but that is so much time that Hit and Run need. But realistically, Mafia are not able to capitalize somewhere else, as Pranek also finds Kono. And all of a sudden, Hit and Run get the reverse here. Katsai puts Conrad down towards one shot. Once again, healing ability is gonna kick in, but Yuzek not really trading the best as Pranek gets the third kill for Hit and Run.
No, Hit and Run was very, very ready for this. Even with Orchek healing all that HP. Now in this situation, you have to play against 7 tanks, 3 down, 57 in front of you as well. Tisuk is about to ruin Marcel as well in that AX. Finds 2 shots, could have even gotten 3. Another tank low, and it's going to be a tiebreaker.
I mean, if nothing completely extraordinary happens, then yes, we are about in for a tiebreaker. Obviously, the tanks of Mafia will try to play it out as Profus does finally find the first kill, but now T-Shek is coming in with a fully loaded T-57. A quick 1-2 combination, he does get the pickup, he does get the kill. There are more tanks behind him, and those T-57s, once they start, they never stop. They get out of control. And Hit and Run, after losing 3 consecutive rounds, now when it matters, now when push comes to shove, they do come back into the match. They are going to force overtime.
Good stuff. Very good stuff from them this round. They got a lot in the beginning. You know, they got double strikes. They had some good trades against the mouses, and then they had a really, really good adjustment against those tanks coming from 1-2 line. And yeah, it's triple push B, but the push B's biggest weakness is still, and will always remain, its reload time. So when it's reloading, it's most vulnerable. Healing or not, sure, Orchek heals a ton, but you know.
I mean, the thing is, the healing is good, yes, and I think he even popped his ability at the correct time, so he was really healing a lot of his HP back, like quadruple digits at least. But, you know, if there is no one else to capitalize upon the fact that the tanks of Hit and Run are currently gunning down the Foch B, then he can heal back 3,000, and it will not matter.
No. So damage results, I mean, DJ doing 5.7, Fury with the good trades in the middle as well. Profus, yeah, this time around in the mouse, not too great. Yuzek has been popping off though.
Yeah, Yuzek continuously high up there, high on the board, and like really the bad trades that the Mouses did, I guess, was mostly Profus this round. But all in all, I think it was just the team of Hit with the more comprehensive approach to the match. They just seem to have the better plan. They got the better engagements, especially on towards the Foch Bs, which weren't really able to, you know, play to the best of their ability and then profit off of synergy together with other team members. It was just 3 isolated Foch Bs getting found, and after that, no follow-up from Mafia.
Cliff is going to be the tiebreaker. It's going to be over soon, one way or another.
Indeed. And Cliff, I mean, in the past has been... I hate to use those jokes like time and time again, but for Hit and Run, Cliff has been hit or miss. They always... it's like night and day, right? they either have a round where they completely mop the floor with the opposing team, or they have a round where whatever they were trying to do, it's not happening, and they end up looking really stupid. So, and for Mafia, I think it's been okay. Like, not great, not terrible so far. Obviously, more on the great side because Mafia is second in the league. But
production
yeah,
just informed us that Hit and Run had side selection, and Hit and Run picked the north side of the map.
So I think that tells us already that Hit and Run most likely are not going to run the stage 2 pocket strat, because I think that one from south is more viable. But other than that,
you would know, Kian.
I mean, you know, I'm still a little bit disappointed that it still says competitive operations manager, not map guru. Maybe we'll be able to fix that at some point in time.
That wouldn't be the first time that there's lies told on the stream.
I mean, I wouldn't know about that. Maybe you can disclose more.
I don't think you want me to open the book of dark secrets by Kihan.
I thought I locked that one away. Anyway, we're just about a minute out from Cliff, and to be honest, in between both of those, like after having watched 6 rounds now, who do you give it to?
Mafia. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, it has nothing to do with this. Literally nothing. It would have been cool if it was 4-2, you know? Now it's like, whatever. It's either I'm right or Kihan and Moff are 100% right, and we don't want that. Nobody wants that.
I mean, I think Moff and I are 2 people to start with, you know?
We can have a debate about that one. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know. Like, you asked me about 6 rounds. I don't know. Honestly, either team had their highlights throughout this. You know, Sejanki for Hit and Run, then Murov for Mafia.
I mean, Morovanka first round could also be a low light for Hit and Run, because of those bad shots not penetrating the E100.
If you include that, then you should give the tiebreaker to Hit and Run.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, Hit and Run with a very Hit and Run-esque lineup. A triple 50B, double BZ, double CS. Make that 3 as one of the 50B switches over. Some switching going on, so I guess some adjustments on the fly.
Mafia, on the other hand, don't seem to be switching too much. Double ban, triple BZ, double 50B, so definitely autoloader potential there for Mafia compared to Hit and Run.
On the other hand, we have already seen matches in this OLS where these setups with a lot of CSs were able to stall the enemy lineup and then just pick them apart, because triple baby strike, if that's charged, that's 750 damage right there. That can also be the possibility to pick up some kills on the offside that you don't need to expose for, as the openings in this very important round are going to tell us a lot about what's happening. The double CS for Hit and Run is going to boost the double 50B in towards the 1-2 line, where Orzhek and Marcel are waiting but not loaded yet. They're not going to open up. Instead, they have to hurry into the fight, because Conrad and the second batch out of Kono are going to be found for the team of Hit and Run. In come the 50B autoloader abilities. Kono is just going to blow up, not before Monster bites the dust, however, and immediately at the donut, chaos ensues.
But T-Sec still a little bit out in the open. Like, should a double batch out is Debek and Marcel and Orzhek find something? Can they find something more here? Because Profuse is going to be in a lot of trouble there as well. DJ is going to probably get pushed off by Orzhek, who wants to push off that CS63. The Ram as well. Potentially DJ will crash on the bottom. Big question. Yo, he doesn't even make it to the bottom. Some sharp rock on the edge pushes him down. It's a 5-on-4 though, because Profuse has fallen as well. And now Orzhek paying the price for the play he made will fall as well, and Hit and Run. After all that has happened throughout this match, they will bring down Mafia and bring home the points as well. Vital points for them to stay out of reach of those chasing teams called LTP and W.
I mean, not completely out of reach because it's only going to be 3 points ahead, not the possible 4 that they could have had. But yes, indeed, Hit and Run are going to beat Mafia in a thrilling match here. And indeed, I mean, YOLO Uzek, they just don't have the DPM at this point in time. Mentos still there with that full HP. CS63 is going to run around the rows. He does get rammed, but it's not going to matter. Uzek down below. Are they going to jump down? I mean, they're probably just going to try and shoot him here. The shots start coming in, and you can see Hit and Run. They don't want to risk it all just by making it look cool. Instead, they are going to play it cool. They're going to strike Uzek. Franix still full HP, and you can see them enjoying the moment. Pansphere is the one who's going to pick it up. And indeed, Hit and Run at the end of the day are going to win the match. But man, that was once again a sight to behold.
I know two people, well, one person that's like screaming with joy right now. He may be British. No, I'm not even talking about you. I'm talking about Moff. He's like, finally, some points. But yeah, good stuff there from Hit and Run. Bringing it back at the very end and winning out the match as well. So I bet they're real excited for what has happened. Both teams putting up a very, very, very competitive match. Rounds for both teams. Good stuff. Hit and Run takes it away. For Mafia, they were 6 points ahead of Hit and Run. They'll be 3 points ahead of Hit and Run. So nothing changes too much there. But yeah, that move there from Hit and Run, the pincer, the 50 Bs on the lower side for Mafia, very useless in the beginning.
Yeah, indeed. And also the double bat shot getting caught. I think that was the best thing that Hit and Run could have possibly done. Is like, yes, Monster sacrificed his life for this, but in turn, they ended up winning the match for it. And also, I want to direct your attention to the fact that the focus fire by both teams was absolutely on point. Both teams were at the start of the battle trying to remove the tanks with DPM from the fight. Like, the bat shot's gone for the side of Hit and Run. The double CS, also double 50B, can be very bursty. And at the end, it was like kind of slow. Like, it felt slow the way that it finished off, just because, well, both teams had focused out all the DPM. So really good job by either team, obviously, with the better end for Hit and Run. And I hope we can stay on this screen for a little bit, because we have a little bit of something to talk about for actually 2 days from now, Thursday. Those positions at, I guess, 2 to 5 even, are very spicy, because the matchups that we're going to have, the last one of the day is going to be Cashback versus Mafia. So assuming that Cashback takes it clean, this means Hit and Run. Can they still catch it? No. The round difference...
Yes,
well, actually, they can.
Technically,
they
yes.
can.
If Mafia lose hard enough and Hit and Run win hard enough, Gihan, it's possible, right? Because, you know, if Mafia lose like 4-0, they're +6. If Hit and Run wins plus 4-0, they're +8, you know?
Exactly. And then it gets even spicier, because if Hit and Run loses, they are going to be playing against LTP. Maybe not the likeliest thing, but LTP is going to put absolutely 110% to the table. Well, actually, LTP, if they win against Hit, they might
if they
overtake.
win against Hit, they might actually just
4-1. If it's 4-1 or better, they're even, or LTP jumps above. That's crazy. Yeah. And I mean, it's just playing really, against Darkseid.
There's a lot of possibilities here, Kihand. Yeah.
Holy crap.
There's a lot of possibilities about who can end where.
Mm-hmm.
But it will all be for there's like possibilities left, right, and everywhere. The wildest one would be this: W wins clean, LTP wins 4-2 against Hit and Run. They're on the same round difference, and then
they need to win 4-1, because then LTP gets +3 and Hit and Run -3. So,
okay, so imagine they win 4-1, then it's even round difference. Then head-to-head goes, right? I think. I'm not sure anymore.
I think so. I definitely have to read up on the rules before our next
stream. That would be the wildest. I don't think that's very likely to happen, though.
No, but it's wild that the possibility exists, which is already crazy.
The funny
right?
thing is, LTP will know exactly what they need to do after the W match, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we assume right now that, double winning against Darkseid is a given. It might not be. But then again, if W loses against Darkseid, but LTP loses against Hit and Run in tiebreaker,
and there's enough round difference,
goodness.
it could be that W and LTP end up on the same scoreline as well in some regard. So there's a lot of possibilities.
Absolutely. So I think the takeaway from this one is going to be to everyone that, well, tune in on Thursday. Otherwise, you might miss what exactly is going to go on. That being said, though, here are once again the play days for the OLS that we currently have ongoing. The 18th of February, which is where we're at, it has been completed. This means 3 more days remaining. The Thursday, we've been talking about so much, where the people in the playoffs will be decided, and then the playoffs themselves, where coincidentally we'll be knocking it up a notch also when it comes to the drops and the tokens that you can earn there. So on Thursday it'll be 6 tokens, on Saturday it'll be 6, and on Sunday you can earn a total of 8, and there'll also be some mystery drops. So you don't want to miss out on that, just like we don't want to miss out on all the action that's going to be happening. Talking about that on March 1st and 2nd, as we said already, it's going to be relegations, because this is the 2nd season of OLS, but the 3rd one is just around the corner.
Yeah, before you know it, we'll be here again. But we need to have some qualifiers before, see who makes it through, have some relegations, a lot of stuff that needs to happen before we kick off the next season, Kian.
And to be honest, like, seeing how well LTP is doing,
They deserve to be
I
there
can't
next
wait
season.
to see.
IMO.
Yeah. First of all, that, and second of all, I can't wait to see which possible other teams we might be seeing in the next season. I mean, Lotus already confirmed as well. Congratulations to them again. But yeah, I think this is going to conclude the stream for today. Thank you very much for casting with me, Ducky. I think the most exciting round today was actually W against LTP on Ghost Town. That was absolute cinema. It was a lot of fun to cast as well. And in case you haven't been able to claim all the drops, then as usual, and as is tradition, we are going to raid Ducky. He'll have the drops enabled as well. So just enjoy the raid. But first of all, take a look at the replays. We'll catch you all in 2 days.